Chase Geiser, only at chasegeiser.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Chase Geiser, your host this evening with my co-host, Steven Bak, otherwise known as Bak. It is an honor and a pleasure to be with you. We are experimenting with this new studio setup, so please bear with us as we continue to modify, improve, enhance the experience for listeners. We are going to be doing the show at least 3 times a week for a few hours, and we will be taking speakers at the end of the transmission. But like I said, it's an honor and a pleasure to be with you. We are experimenting with some AI tools that we have developed specifically for this transmission. We've got an auto switcher that switches when Bak talks to Bak and when I talk to me. We've also got a tool called Darvis that we built, which is going to basically be our crew, where we can ask it to play specific clips. And we're experimenting with that, so as we use it, you're going to notice little glitches and things like that. But I just missed broadcasting. I left InfoWars back in September. Love Alex Jones, love the crew. It was very amicable. But I missed broadcasting, and so now I'm running a marketing agency with my business partner, Jim Morris, and Steven Bak is helping us out with that.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey. But today we're going to be talking about the Hantavirus. We're going to be talking about Erika Kirk ratioing me. We're going to be talking about disclosure, maybe get into a little bit of this OpenAI stuff that I've noticed on my end. It's really going to be a full show. What's on your mind, Bak, with everything going on?
This is an emergency broadcast because Erika Kirk ratioed the shit out of my co-host Chase Geiser, so we're out for blood. But in other news, also Hantavirus and the UFO disclosure, we're going to dive deep and show you what it's all about, tell you what the meta is.
Yeah, she did ratio my ass. You know, she misunderstood, or probably intentionally misunderstood, the fact that my post was a prediction, not a claim, believe it or not.
Dude, she's got a fucking army, though.
Dude,
you got to be. That was the worst ratio I've ever seen in my life.
I know, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, this is so good.
I had to hop on Instagram and defend your honor.
Here it is. I said Erika Kirk will step down from a role in TPUSA. I did not say Erika Kirk is stepping down from a role at TPUSA. I just said that she will. I think it's either going to happen in the next 3 months or it's going to happen in the next 16, 18 months.
There was a mountain of SSRIs that just fell down on Chase, and I had to help dig you out.
And so it says, yeah, Erika Kirk herself replied to this post saying, first I'm hearing of it, and TPUSA spokesperson Andrew Colvett called to claim fake news. No official announcement has been made. A PJ Media opinion piece argued she should resign, but Kirk remains TPUSA CEO, and I believe she's chairman of the board. I got 4,000 likes on this, 730,000 views.
I got 33 views.
Yeah, she got 34,000 likes on this and 1.4 million views. Now, I do appreciate it because I did get about 600 or so more followers.
And growing.
Due to this. And somebody did make this glowing banner photo of me called Podcastistan.
The low IQ Iran crew.
And so I had to throw it. I had to throw it all together. But yeah, I mean, that's the Erika Kirk ratioing me story of the day.
It's all right. We're just going to grow from here. This tweet's going to be like an everlasting, evergreen erection.
An everlasting, evergreen erection.
One that we're going to win at the end.
You know, the last time we were hanging out, Bak, you were so sick of talking about the Erika Kirk thing, but I knew it was going to pop again, dude.
Yeah, you baited the shit out of her, and she fell for it. So
I didn't think she was going to reply. I thought it was going to be one of those things that got like 500 likes, and then a year from now when it actually happened, I could quote tweet it and say, told you, tomorrow's news today, or something like that.
You know how I know Jesus has got us? Because I saw the funniest meme, which you're going to see, my boy sent me, and there's more breaking news about Erika Kirk the past day. Should we get into the first clip?
Sure. What is it? What
Darvis,
clip number?
Clip 500.
Play clip 500. We'll see if it works. Oh, you know what? I can actually select the app. So this is our first glitch. Let's try it. Play clip 500. I'll give it a second. Give it a second. Play clip 500.
What the hell is that?
Bro, I don't know what's going on. We just tested this so much right before we got started, and we're already having glitches. What's it called? Erika Kirk's mom?
Erika Kirk's mom.
Play Erika Kirk's mom.
Got it going on.
Oh, is this stupid bitch not going to work? Here, let me try again. Play Erika Kirk's mom. Play Erika's mom. Play Erika mom. Oh my God, those fucking eyes. I don't. There you have it.
So a little context on that clip. not a huge fan of Stu Peters because he rug pulled the shit out of his meme coin. We didn't forget Stu. But there is another clip which we will go into in depth tomorrow where this ties into that Tennessee bomb making factory that blew up not too long ago. I'd say about, 8 months ago, Chase?
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm. And they make micro amounts of explosives. I'm obviously not wording it correctly, but they make such a small amount of explosives that one could say could fit in a lapel microphone.
Oh, my God.
Theoretically, in Minecraft. So I just find that to be very funny.
Whatever happened to the guy that blew up his van or his truck in front of the Comcast building?
So that's another clip you're going to have to tune in for tomorrow's show. Remember that Tesla truck that blew up in front of Trump Towers? It doesn't have to do with this, but he left a manifesto that has something to do with those scientists, I believe, because he just went on some sort of Adderall, Green Beret rant about anti-gravity technology, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's right. He said that they were going to try to do like a false alien invasion, like Project Bluebeam type shit.
Mm-hmm. Which is going to be later on in the show. You're jumping the gun, Chase.
And he did the suicide. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm not jumping the gun. I'm just going where the conversation goes, homie.
That's true. So we're going to cover Erika Kirk for about a few more minutes because she deserves it. She needs to get bodied for what she did to my co-host. But we're going to get into why the crime scene was cleaned up so quickly, how a 30-aught 6-round could not have an entry wound like that with no exit wound, how if it hit the spinal vertebrae, I would imagine the whole head would be mashed potato, right, Chase?
Yeah, I mean, that's my understanding. I'm not an arms expert by any means, but one thing's for sure. My theory on this whole thing is that Mossad provides the assassin and that the CIA provides the patsy. God.
And they know how much change is in your pocket just by hearing it jangle.
But I believe Tyler Robinson was there, and Tyler Robinson might even think that he was the assassin, but it was definitely that lapel mic just blasting right through his
this
neck.
whole thing is sketchball city. Come on, man.
Yeah.
You can do better than that, U.S. government.
And really, especially in the context of the fact that they did that famous pager attack where the pagers exploded all over Gaza.
And never forget, Trantifa went online and said he will be dead by tomorrow.
Yeah. Yep, I think Tyler Robinson probably thinks that he did it, but I think it was way more professional than. I think they probably had like a sure thing. Maybe Tyler Robinson was up there and he just never had the balls to pull the trigger, and so they just like as a plan B, they're like, boop.
And did you guys know that Erika Kirk played an assassin on a movie set in Fort Huachuca where she had a rifle and she was just, I'm just Erika Kirk with an assassin's rifle
Is
up
there
here.
a clip for that?
It's in tomorrow's show.
Hold on, let me.
We're just going.
Let me see if I can
bit.
find it. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on a second.
It's a Stu Peters clip. We didn't forget what you did to your meme coin.
Erika Kirk assassin clip. Let's see if it finds it. Let's see if Darvis can find this shit for us.
No, we don't want that.
Is it any of these? Is it
No, it's a Stu Peters clip.
It's a Stu Peters clip, huh?
Yeah,
right.
I have it in another playlist for tomorrow.
Okay, well, we can play it tomorrow. That's fine.
Do you guys want to see what my microwave sees when I wait for my pizza rolls?
Oh, what clip is that?
Darvis, clip 501.
What's it called? Erika Microwave?
Kirk microwave.
Okay. Play microwave clip.
I know. We got to keep what? That's me at 2 a.m, bro.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe. I thought it was fake when I first saw that clip of her breathing like that.
Yeah, I don't even know what is even that. What the hell is even that, guys? Some people say demonic possession, some people say early onset menopause. I don't know what your
early onset menopause.
That's my theory. No one said that. I'm saying that now.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. That's not a good look, Chase, is it?
No, it's not. And look, I don't want to get distracted just talking incessantly about Erika Kirk. I think Candace Owens does the best job of that. Not to say that she talks incessantly about it, but she does the best job of covering the whole.
Of course, she's bodying Erika Kirk right now.
Yeah. And the Bride of Charlie stuff was hilarious and compelling and all that stuff. What actually blows my mind, I know this isn't on the list for us to cover, Bak, but have you followed at all this campaign against Candace that's happening with Jeremy Boring and others?
I don't know about Jeremy Boring.
You know who he is, right? He's the
sounds like a cuck.
He's the former CEO of Daily Wire that got fired because he was overspending the money to make the Pendragon series, and then he fired Candace Owens right before Candace Owens went to war. Actually, let me just ask Darvis this. Darvis, find Jeremy Boring Candace clip. I bet you it'll find it. Let's see if we can find this clip here. There's one of him on X just going fucking hand. How about this? Find Jeremy boring Candace clip. He's the dude that he looks like he's the fucking, yeah, here we go. He looks like he's the leader of that Nexium sex cult. Do you remember that sex cult?
No,
He looks like
he's getting no pussy.
Yeah, watch this. This is fucking, this will blow your fucking mind.
Jeremy
dude.
Boring.
So former CEO of Daily Wire, right? Got fired because he was overspending like crazy, but he was one of the founding, I think he was the founder of Daily Wire, raised a bunch of money. They did very well after Matt Walsh's What is a Woman documentary. He took all the money that was made from that, and then he like pumped it into like the Daily Wire Hollywood shit with Pendragon and all this stuff. And then he fired Candace because she was, saying like real shit.
Because she was black excellence.
I've read almost every day.
Oh my God, this guy sits down to pee.
That I left the Daily Wire after bankrupting the company. That's not true. Every single year that I led the Daily Wire, we grew revenue. Every year,
but growing revenue
year
is
over
not
year
growing
for
profit.
10
Why don't you
straight
grow a
years.
nutsack?
My last full quarter as CEO was at that time the biggest quarter in the history of the company. My last full year as CEO was at that time the biggest year in the history of the company, just like the year before it had been, and the year before that, and the year before that. But the lie persists. In recent weeks, public records and documents have surfaced alleging that Candace's husband, George Farmer, was arrested in Nashville in August 2023 for DUI and leaving the scene of an accident. When Candace insists that this has nothing to do with her husband, that it's some completely different George Farmer in Nashville, Tennessee, well, that denial strikes me as pretty audacious. I was first made aware of the arrest and charges, leaving the scene of an accident after wrecking his truck at 3 times the legal limit while carrying a loaded firearm, shortly after it happened, back when Candace still worked for me at the Daily Wire. People who had access to the court documents approached me with them quite early, before the situation was resolved. By the time Candace started to engage in more and more evil behavior, the arrest was pretty well known in conservative circles. I was personally approached more than
Have
once.
you seen
by
what
people
Keith Raniere
asking me
looks
if I would
like?
Speak out about the charges.
Sounds familiar, but
instance,
if he looks
I
anything like
refused.
this guy,
Not
fuck
because I
him
thought
too.
Candace's conduct was defensible, far from it.
This guy
But
is
because
so
I
gay.
believed then and still believe.
Look at the way he
that
sits.
family
Look at the
should
way he
generally be
talks.
off limits.
Is this neurolinguistic programming?
Of course,
What's
Candace
going on
doesn't
here?
believe family is off limits. Just ask Charlie Kirk's widow. And so people
Oh
now
my
have
God.
decided to play by Candace's rules.
The Daily Wire, I was never
So here she goes, and she
Right, in
just
some way,
berates him.
Where the charges brought
But he's
against
been
him
doing these
found
like
to be
very
untrue.
formal,
I mean, the police
critical
arresting you doesn't mean you're guilty after all.
videos of Candace. He's like
Responsible
obsessed.
journalists
Dude, this
would be
dude would
pursuing these
poison the
questions.
village well. It's
If there were
exactly
any
how someone who would
responsible
poison the
journalists
water
left,
supply
pursue
would
them.
talk in Minecraft, theoretically.
You guys, if I could just explain to you for a second, I saw red last night. I saw red. Like, I was in a state of, like, let me calm myself down when I saw this. If you just know who Jeremy Boring is, the audacity of the lie that he is telling. So just to break this down, okay? Just to break down what he is asserting. He's asserting that this happened while I was working at the Daily Wire, and someone came to him and wanted a comment or a statement, but they never came to me. They never came to George, and he never told us.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he's going
That's
out
what he
and
starts
saying
with.
that her husband got a DUI and it was a different
Absolutely
George Farmer. It's all
untrue
tied in with the Laura
and
What's
Loomer
wrong
shit.
with that?
And
People make
completely
mistakes.
made up. There was
Yeah,
never
hey,
an
I'm with
incident
you.
that happened while
It's not like the fucking end of the world.
You catch a Dewey Cox? That's not. Yeah, what the fuck?
It's not the end of the world.
Seriously.
So, I don't know. I mean, I could show you clip after clip after clip of Jeremy Boring doing the same shit. He's having like guests on. He's got a professional studio set up. I saw him speak here in Nashville at the Standard a few months ago. And
Oh, that's who you tweeted out?
yeah. And he was supposed to speak on entrepreneurship.
Is he your friend?
No, I've never met. I shook his hand when I was there, but he's not my friend. He doesn't know who I
My
am.
bad. I
I'm
was
sure.
just shitting all over him.
No, he's not my friend. I'm fucking playing the clip to criticize him.
Okay.
But the fucking dude fired Candace Owens. I can't remember the exact details of why she was fired.
Just strong black women. That's why.
Well,
she's
she was
fired.
doing the White Lives Matter thing with Ye at the time, and she was being hypercritical of Ben Shapiro, as one should be, and as everyone is, because his followers and his views are just falling off the map. And Jeremy fired her, and then consequently, was fired within months of that as CEO of the Daily Wire, which of course had massive layoffs here in Nashville just in the last 7 days or so. Like, no one's watching the shit. And I went and pulled up some Ben Shapiro clips because I was somebody who listened to Ben Shapiro
Eyebrows.
back in 2016, and I was not impressed with his coverage. It's very weak. He like lost his luster. It's like listening to Elton John in 1988 versus listening to Elton John in 2018. You know, it's like, what the fuck happened, bro?
I only listen to Rocket Man.
Yeah.
That's it. And to be honest with you, Shapiro never had it. That dude is a little snitchy hall monitor. He
He's
would
like-
rat you out for $1.
I know, but he's like a gateway drug to conservatism. So when you're getting started listening into politics, you listen to the fucking Mark Levins and the Ben Shapiros. And then when you realize what the fuck's really going on, you hate the Mark Levins and the Ben Shapiros.
I never started with that. My starter drug was Alex motherfucking Jones,
No
baby.
shit.
Shout
Really?
out to Alex.
It was Alex
Of
Jones was your
course,
starting
man.
one?
Loose change. I said it last one. That's
Oh,
my
that's
spirit
right.
animal.
You know, I've still never seen any of Alex's documentaries except
1776 will commence again.
I've only seen Bohemian Grove. That's the only documentary I've ever watched.
That's not a bad one to start. It's all super gay, but
Yeah.
okay.
Look, I used to be really attractive, and there were guys grabbing my ass there.
We should get into the breaking news of the day, which they're trying to freak everyone out with. If you guys know anything about pop culture and you know anything about predictive programming, you know that you're probably going to see it in The Simpsons or something like The X-Files first. So let's play clip 502, Darvis. You better get it right.
All right, let's see. What's it called other than 502?
Hantavirus. Cruise
Play
ship
502.
outbreak.
Shit, we were both talking.
Look,
Is that it?
that's our ship.
Emergency message. Outbreak of the deadly virus is spreading rapidly.
Worrying new challenge in efforts to contain the Hantavirus.
All we want right now is to feel safe.
For now, nobody is being allowed off the boat.
All ships must remain at sea.
Have fun! My booze!
What? How much shit has The Simpsons gotten right, dude?
The CIA gave them everything.
Do you think that's it?
Absolutely. This is the Economist cover right there.
It's the same disease that killed Betsy Arakawa, the wife of late actor Gene Hackman.
Whoa.
According to the newspaper, FEMA was called out to manage an outbreak of the hantavirus.
Wow.
They do it every time. They did the same formula with COVID. It's because it's a metaphysical rule that God put into place. If Satanists are going to operate here, they cannot take you in 100% deception. They have to warn you what's coming. It's a metaphysical rule.
Do you think it's tied into that tweet that was discovered this week? So first of all, a couple of weeks ago, there was a tweet that said the guy's name that made the
the White
assassination
House
attempt.
correspondence dinner shooter.
Yep.
Yep.
Right. So some guy predicted that. And then this time, some guy said, what, COVID-19 2020 and Hantavirus 2026 or something like that was his
No,
tweet?
so COVID ends 2023. Hantavirus starts 2026. Influenza A starts 2030 or something
What's
like that.
influenza A?
It's something the freaking Chinese made up. You already know that, bro. Can't trust them. Which we're gonna get into further. But look at this guy from Australia. So they're laying the breadcrumbs right now. If we play clip 503, this fits right into the pattern.
What's the full name of the clip?
Australia Lab.
Play Australia Lab. Let's try it again one more time. Play Australia Lab.
No evidence so far of any event occurring as a result of the loss or the destruction of these materials. The department is taking all necessary steps to ensure that it does have the appropriate regulatory matters in place. It is liaising with the federal record-keeping bodies and the...
Oh,
Did it play
cut
half
out?
of it?
Yeah. So anyways, I'll just give you context. Maybe I edited that one wrong. My bad. It's my second
You're
episode.
fired, dude.
I'm not even get paid.
Not yet.
Yeah, okay. We hope so. We need a beef jerky sponsor. But 323 vials went missing from an Australia lab, and 100 of them contained the hantavirus. What a coinky-dink, huh?
Australia Lab this time. So this time it wasn't some Wuhan bullshit. This was from an Australian lab.
Well, if you know the origins of COVID, it was developed here in the United States, I believe, at Fort Detrick. And then there was some connection between Fort Detrick and Chapel Hill, where Obama exported it in 2016 to the Wuhan laboratory, and Fauci just handled the whole transfer, which Is he going to be prosecuted in 3 or 4 days, or is the timer going? What's going on with that?
Dude, and thus extends the list of things that Trump said he was going to do that never got done.
He could win me back if he just repealed federal income tax.
Honestly, me too.
That's it. Like, bro, I don't care how bad you fuck me.
What are the things that he did well? He pardoned all the J6ers.
Yep.
He did stop the bleeding at the border, though. He
Yep.
failed on the deportations.
Mm-hmm.
And there were tariffs for a minute, but did those evaporate?
So I go back and forth. I've supported Trump for 10 years. I voted for him twice. I didn't vote for him in 2020 because of Operation Warp Speed. But my theory bounces a little back and forth on Trump. I don't think he's completely against us. Like, I don't think he's a malevolent being, but I think that he has a Machiavellian plan in mind where he promised us to destroy the deep state, but he went in there just to take that shit over. What's your take on that?
So he didn't destroy the deep state; he just hijacked it.
He co-opted it, yeah, to drive his agenda
but he
forward.
doesn't seem like he's controlling the deep state. He seems like he's being controlled by the deep state, with the exception of forcing Pam Bondi to resign. But Kash Patel's still in.
If you look at what he's been doing to the money flows, especially like Alex just had on a really nice woman. If you know the School of the Americas, we put dictators into place. And Trump has always been around the orbit of knowing how the deep state functions through his mentor, or one of them, Roy Cohn, who was, famous for busting up the mob, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So Trump is never going to be co-opted. He's too smart. He's not going to be peed on. He's not going to, get his arm twisted from the concrete club from the Iran war. If Trump is compromised, I think it's him piping down a bunch of porn stars and hookers.
That's not even that much of a compromise, though.
I thought that was normal America.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit if Trump was slamming porn stars 10, 20 years ago.
But it's embarrassing to him. Like, I know the whole Melania disclosure, you go back and forth with it. I don't think she was sex trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein. I don't even think Trump is completely malevolent, but I think to destroy the deep state, you probably have to get your hands dirty. And in doing so, you probably realize it's better to just co-opt them to get your agenda through, because you only have 4 years.
Why do you think Melania came out and made that unsolicited statement saying that she never knew Jeffrey Epstein?
Because she knows that some sort of disclosure is happening. They've been teasing it. And we know files have been deleted.
I'm going to find that clip real quick. I'm not even sure if I watched it all the way through. Stand by. Hold on. Find Melania Trump Epstein statement.
And Trump admitted that was unannounced. He didn't know about it.
Let's see what happens here. Let's see if it finds it. Is this it?
Mm-hmm.
This is from YouTube. This is the full speech.
Just play like a minute.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to play the full thing. All right, let's try it.
Oh, look at that walk.
I know, she's got it.
The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein
Scumbag.
need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility,
Totally unsolicited
and
statement.
respect.
He said on camera
I do
that
not
he caught him by
object
surprise.
to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation. I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell. My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence.
So casual.
My polite reply
But, the
to
point
her
is, we
email
don't have to play the whole clip,
doesn't
but the
amount
point is, like, nobody ever asked her to make this statement.
Well,
Like,
I
what the fuck is
formulate
she
my
doing?
ideas from Alex. If this was every media appearance is carefully planned, you know that, down to the comb over, down to the way your tie sits on your suit, the colors of your suit. So for her to just come out and for Trump to, because he's very candid, like he'll talk what's on his heart, what's on his sleeve. He said, "Oh, I didn't know she was going to do that. That caught me by surprise."
Do you think it really did catch him by surprise, or was he just acting like it did?
I don't know. He's a hot mic president,
Yeah.
You'll get a lot of truth just from seeing the side comments from him, more than the planned announcements. So I like to listen to him when he goes off the cuff.
Yeah. I just think that kind of thing would piss him off if he didn't know it was going to happen ahead of time. Melania, why'd you do that?
Why'd you do that to me, Melania?
Nobody was asking. Now everybody's asking.
Well, no, but remember why she made that speech? Because her correspondence with Epstein in the emails got leaked. Remember?
Yeah, I know. But was she even getting a lot of pressure for that?
I mean, I don't even care. I just assume everyone's,
Yeah.
doing some dirty stuff. I don't think anyone's closet's clean.
So do you think they're actually trying some shit with this hantavirus thing? Or is it just like a fluke thing?
Let's play clip 504, 2020. Let me pull up the title. Virus prediction stock play.
Virus prediction?
2026 virus prediction.
Play 2026 virus prediction. Hold on, I gotta say it again.
It means you are not getting the best price. It just depends on what happens.
I cut him off.
I hope you're paying attention.
So, look, we had the swine flu thing that popped.
Mm-hmm.
We had the Ebola bullshit that popped under Obama. There are multiple instances of fake outbreaks happening and then nothing ever really coming of it. I think everyone's just spooked by the hantavirus thing because the last time a virus popped COVID, it ended up like almost ending the entire world.
Mm-hmm. The COVID virus had probably 5 to 6 agendas behind it, and they were not all cohesive, which is why you saw them contradicting each other. Some of the groups. Remember Dr. Redfield?
Yeah.
And what was that lady? Doesn't matter.
She's so many ladies.
She's a scumbag too. But the real thing to look out for here is if hantavirus is the agenda they're trying to drive forward, it's a shiny object. And it probably will be deadly because this thing's most likely gain of function, in my opinion, because you used to only be able to get it from rat droppings or urine or some sort of fluid. Now they're saying it's aerosolized, but they ran this whole script with COVID. But if you want to play clip 505, that should give you Gil Bates' take on it. Always watch that scumbag, that little turtleneck wearing pussy boy.
What's the name of it?
505, Gates' Next Pandemic.
Okay, I got it. Play Gates' Next Pandemic.
So we, we'll have to prepare for the next one. That, I'd say is, will get.
That's my theory, and I'm sticking with it in Minecraft.
By the way, we forgot to talk about the fact that Erika Kirk is a doctor now.
Oh, yeah, she got an honorary doctorate?
Yeah, let me find the clip. Find Erika Kirk honorary doctorate. Let's see if I can pull it up. I just want to test Darvis as much as possible.
Dude, just play her for like 20 seconds.
You can't stand this bitch, dude.
Dude, she bodied you the other day.
Your thoughts become your priorities. And your priorities become your direction.
She does look pretty cute with the little
wood
beret
unmistakably
thing.
your life. What you seek in life, you will get. If you're seeking the ugly, the conspiracy, the pain, you'll find it. And if you're seeking the good and the true and the beautiful, you will find that as well.
All right. Thank God.
They gave her an honorary doctorate, man. What is it with these universities doing this shit?
Didn't Trump get an honorary doctorate too?
I don't know. I know Mark Zuckerberg was a dropout. He got one. I think Jim Carrey got one. All these famous like entrepreneurs or actors or talented people.
Yeah, Elon Musk got like 3, I think.
Probably. Well, Elon actually
He's
deserves
actually
it.
a genius, yeah.
But now she's a doctor. Why? Because her fucking husband died?
I think maybe it was the College of Fort Huachuca that gave her the honorary doctorate. But going back to what I said, because I played clip 505, Gates talking about the hantavirus, essentially, like obviously he was hinting at it, because that's a shiny object. And if we play clip 506, Everglades.
Okay.
It's going to go deeper
Everglades
into what I'm talking about.
Shit, I probably heard you. Hold on. Play Everglades.
Now this might be the most ticks I've ever seen on any animal ever. That is insane. And look at the size of them. They're enormous. Huge ticks on this girl. But we just got this python out of the Everglades and she was sitting on a clutch of eggs. We got them too, and you can see she popped this egg right away.
Now pause this,
you
Chase.
You can see the embryo in there.
I want to rapid fire these because I'm going to prove a point.
Yeah.
Play clip 508. chronic wasting.
Play chronic wasting.
Chronic wasting disease, or CWD, is a progressive and always fatal neurological disease in cervids 6 months or older. There's no cure or vaccine. Caused by abnormal proteins called prions, CWD leads to brain damage and death in infected animals. Bucks are particularly at risk due to behaviors during the rut, such as fighting and marking territory, which increase the chances of spreading the disease. Infected bucks can shed prions through saliva,
Prions.
and feces.
Sound familiar?
The environment
Yeah.
affecting other deer.
Now, you want to pause this one real quick, Chase?
Sure.
CWD in bucks include weight loss.
Do you want to play clip 510, New World?
Okay. Play.
Keenan Willard spoke with ranchers about how they are protecting their herds. The new
All right, so connect the dots for me here between Hantavirus,
The algorithm's pushing Hantavirus, which we're going to get more into tomorrow because it has super sketchy origins. Even with that kind of gay-looking guys like, we want to get off the cruise ship, we're sorry.
Yeah.
This whole thing is traced back to Europe. It's traced back to billionaires that have involvement with biolabs. Even that clip that was played, that dude's family is involved in this, I believe. That's what I'm hearing. So it's not about what they're talking about and pushing with the algorithm and on the news. It's every other thing that's going on. There's hoof and mouth disease going in China.
Yeah.
There's screwworms back after 50, 60, 70 years of suppression. There's all these ticks being found. We have the clips of the boxes being dropped in the farmer's field. We even have one we'll play after this. And this is coming off the heels of these Chinese biolabs that were being busted in the United States, remember?
Yeah.
That's in clip 511, 512 we'll get to. They're going for broke. This is Agenda 2030. They don't want you on the land. They don't want you self-sufficient. Ahead of all these smart cities going in, ahead of the AI grid. So this is a 8, 9, 10-pronged attack. They're going for broke because they're behind on their timeline.
You know, I want to find this clip. It just came to my mind. Sorry, I don't have it prepared. It's a stretch to see if I can find it. But I saw this gal analyze the lack of videos from the cruise of passengers. Let me see if I can find this real quick before we go on to what you have listed next. Find Hantavirus cruise ship passengers clip. Let's just see if it'll pop up. She's a redhead gal.
I love redhead.
Here she is, dude. Yeah, dude. This is it.
Video clips around a lot, but
Yeah, but the other guys' videos don't have the sunset. Why did the one guy's,
You mean
you know
to
what
tell
I
me
mean?
that both of these content creators were there during
I'm
sunset
looking at the
and
penguins.
Jake's the only one that
They
got
don't-
a
they
video
don't look real.
with
Yeah.
the beautiful pink orange sky?
Penguins shit all over each other and they
Fools. They think
throw
we're
up to
fools.
feed their young.
I'm like
come
getting
on,
to the
you
point where
expect
I'm
us to
wondering
believe
whether
that
cruise
after
even
the outbreak
happened.
happened,
Dude, it's all
people were
fake and
locked in
gay.
their
Everything's
rooms forced
fake
to
and
quarantine,
gay.
And the only two passengers from inside the ship we hear from are two travel influencers? Nope, absolutely not. As a dedicated consumer of cruise drama TikTok, I reject this whole premise. Look, maybe the cruise company told them they weren't allowed to post, maybe the Wi-Fi's bad, or maybe everybody on that
I'm with
cruise ship
Ginny
just
Weasley.
genuinely has great self-control, in which case, good for them. But I'm just saying the silence to severity ratio is weird.
Very fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
Very fucking weird.
So that's why I think this is a shiny object. But when they do something like this, it's a 1-2 punch. And obviously we played those different clips of different outbreaks happening pretty much within the same 1 to 2 year period. Like the last year and a half, we have an outbreak of something major on every continent, pretty much. You're going to hear about Ebola flare back up. You're going to hear about some Chinese dude who ate the wrong pigeon with influenza. And they're going to keep hammering us and hammering us and pegging us and pegging us. And I'm begging you, this is just the beginning. We need to pay attention. There's more butt stuff coming. They're going to do us wrong.
Yeah, it seems to me like it's obviously a psyop. I don't know why, though. I mean, obviously, during the last pandemic, one of the big things was that the WHO established all of these contingent policies that are automatically activated when another pandemic is underway. They established all these very Orwellian policies that sit dormant until another pandemic hits
A bunch of
certain
fake Chinese people passing out on the street. Remember that?
Yeah,
And they said
yeah.
it was a bat, and then they said it was a Chinese armadillo, which is a pangolin.
Yep. Not to mention the fact that they canceled all flights within China in and out of Wuhan, but they allowed
them to come to the U.S. and international.
Ones. Yep. All the international ones were fair game.
Speaking of Chinese people, let's play these Chinese scumbags. Can we do 511 Chinese fungus clip?
Play Chinese fungus.
2 Chinese nationals have been charged with smuggling a dangerous biological pathogen into the United States. And this pathogen is considered a serious threat to our food supply and thus our national security. Fox's David Spunt is here with all the details. David, this is terrifying.
Laura, it really is quite an interesting story. According to the Justice Department, one of them worked at a laboratory connected to the University of Michigan. The FBI arrested 33-year-old Yuqing Zhan for allegedly smuggling in a fungus called Fusarium graminearum, which could be used as an agroterrorism weapon. The gases from the fungus could cause liver damage, vomiting, and reproductive defects in humans and livestock. DOJ officials say Zhan has direct ties to the Chinese Communist Party, and she works at the University of Michigan, and her boyfriend is connected to a university back in China.
And then one more clip. What freaks me out even more is I see clips like 513 Underground just on my own spare time. Most of the time when I'm pooping in the bathroom, doing serious research for the show, I see clips like this. And people, like, they have one video like this. No history of trying to clout chase or, you know, trying to dramatize.
What's it called
shit.
again?
513 Underground.
Play Underground.
Some people didn't believe we were serious about the underground bunker that we have set up in a mine, but here we are. This is an old mine. It's been in the family for over 100 years. And we just decided to turn it into a bunker for all of our families and friends. And that's what we've done. So what you're seeing here is how we have everything stored. Everything we may need. We have full storage. We have food. We have,
No lot lizards. Zero pussy.
All plumbing's ran, all electrical.
You have to import your own pussy into that mine.
Boom. And we fit them in here, man. We know a lot of people.
But look, who the hell's buying a salt mine? They already got the wind stream, the airstream in there.
That's Uncle Tim. Uncle Tim lives in the little one. He's not too extravagant. You know, he's a man of little need. Right on. We have tons of fishing around here, so we got a lot of boats. And as you can see, it just goes on.
So they're all just storing up in the fucking...
They're not storing up. This guy is saying that they're moving in. Uncle Tim's over there. Aunt
That's Uncle Tim's
Janine.
little sister.
Cousin Tommy. Your third grade English teacher that you had a crush on. This, like, look at this thing.
Oh, look, there's Mark Zuckerberg.
No, he's got his own. It's more of a basement, actually. I don't have a bunker.
It's coming for a long time.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Oh shit! What is that clip? What is that? Is that's a clip of Zuckerberg?
Yeah, some.
Yeah, hold on. Let me find it. Hold
he's
on.
getting
hold on.
questioned by in an interview, and she's like, "I heard you have a bunker," and he's like, "Oh, this is more of a basement."
Hold on. Let me find it. Find Zuckerberg bunker clip. More of a basement. Let's see if I can find this shit. That's so fucking funny. Let's see if it pops up. Let's see. Where's Zuckerberg on this?
It might be the up top.
Yeah.
Documents that show a
they all got them.
4,500 square
Bill Gates has like 11
underground storm
bunkers.
shelter. That's
Yeah.
about the
Speaking of Bill
size
Gates, hold on. Let me find another clip. Bill Gates clip blocking out the sun.
I forgot all about that.
Dude, yeah. What the fuck?
What do you do with someone that wants to block out the sun?
Dude, people don't know about this shit. This one's that one's 9 minutes long.
You gonna find out.
Extremely RFK drops happening now. Bill Gates satellites look at every square inch of the planet. No, that's told the world. Oh my God. Here. Let's just play a little bit of this, see what happens. It's a longer clip. We'll just play a minute of it. It's a 9-minute clip in full, but we'll just play like a minute of it, see what happens. Motherfucker's trying to block out the sun, dude. It's almost like it's a metaphor.
No,
like
it's not a metaphor. He literally wants to block out the sun.
They want us to live in darkness, bro.
Oh, boy.
Hoi. Well, we could do a segment.
What the fuck is this show?
I don't know,
Fight
but
power
we
hour
have
clip.
some, yeah, you know. I mean,
You do plan to do a show on this.
Into the atmosphere.
Here we go.
Okay. Woo. And I hate to start you off with a Simpsons did it type of reference, but to be
Simpsons.
honest, going here today. Bill Gates' venture aims to spray dust into the atmosphere to block the sun. What?
Dude, the source of life on the planet. They're trying to fuck with it. You know what's funny about all this to me? The funniest thing about all this to me is we spent so many years talking about the dangers of climate change. And how man-made climate change was real. I mean, that was the argument between conservatives and Democrats for years and years and years. Climate change is natural versus climate change is man-made. And then now we've arrived at this place where the leftist globalist solution for climate change is man-made climate change. So like, hey, man-made climate change is so dangerous. We have to stop it. We have to stop changing the climate. And then they advocate for spraying dust into the atmosphere to artificially fucking
Change the
block
climate.
sun. Yeah, it's like, oh, so the solution to man-made climate change is man-made climate change? I mean, has anyone ever seen The Matrix? Does anybody understand that, you know, we don't know who fired first, but it was us who torched the sky? You know that clip from fucking Matrix?
Of course I do. It was, don't forget, they started with global cooling in the 60s. Then they went to a hole in the ozone layer with chlorofluorocarbons, you know? People are using too much hairspray.
Yeah.
Then Al Gore came out and said, oh, the Arctic ice is going to melt by 2013, while Obama's buying beachfront property in 2014 and 15, Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
So they're just full of shit. They're
You know what's
using whatever
fucking interesting,
narrative.
though? Let me find this clip here. Let me find this. Find Donald Trump global cooling clip. I want to show you two clips. I want to show you this one, and then I want to show you the other one I have in mind.
Show me, Daddy.
I'll show you. It's going to find it. Hold on. It just takes it a second. Let's see. Global cooling. Clip never gets old. Drip, drip, right? Sad part is, Joe Rogan clips Trump warning of global cooling. This is probably the right one right here. Yeah. Watch this shit.
You want to see something else? President Trump said it too. He says it's going to cool first, though, isn't it?
It'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science knew this.
I don't think science knows, actually.
Global warming's not scary. Global cooling, that's what's really scary.
Yep. Watch this. Find Randall Carlson global cooling clip. No, bitch, not that one.
Is that Brian Stelter?
Yeah, that's Brian Stelter. Hold on. Find Danny Jones global cooling clip. This is another good one that'll work.
To deplete munitions, to deplete human power.
The point is,
deplete.
When you have global cooling, you have a dark age. None of the crops grow. There's massive famines. People are more inclined to get sick because viruses and bacteria can survive better at lower temperatures. I mean, the reason we get a fever when we get sick is because viruses and bacteria break apart. There's entropy of those organisms at a certain temperature threshold, right? So when the entire, it's why when people like say, don't roll down the window, I'm going to catch a draft, or don't sleep with the window open, you'll catch a draft because it's cool outside, the viruses, bacteria, whatever. It's an old fucking thing that everybody knows. And so if they succeed in blocking out the sun with their fucking Bill Gates aerosol bullshit, and don't even get me started on the aerosol particles. I mean, they're saying that it's microfibers of wood that they're going to blast into the atmosphere, but I don't want to breathe that shit in. I'm already loaded with microplastics in my balls right now.
There's nothing good.
Right. But they lower the temperature to 46 degrees Fahrenheit on average in the planet. I mean, everyone's going to be getting sick. Crops are going to be dying. Viruses and bacteria are going to flourish. I mean, this is some dark ages shit. I think this is part of the massive depopulation agenda. I think that's what the climate change activists are going for. They want to manually put in these policies that allow for man-made climate change, like Bill Gates with his aerosol bullshit in the sun. And then they want to use that to create a shortage of food, to create massive sickness, and they want to use that to usher in this neo-fascist,
technocratic dark age,
globalist technocratic dark age, where Bill Gates owns all the farmland and China owns all the farmland, and so they've got a monopoly on what food is left. They're living in their bunkers. We're all sick and dying, and the people that don't know what's going on are going to demand for more government intervention because they've replaced God with faith in government, despite everything that we've seen from governments over the course of the last 150, 200 years, proving that that's bad. I mean, to me, fighting climate change or global warming is like the next big lie for how they can usher in this famine, this depopulation, this massive control, even the next
feudalism.
Yeah, neo-feudalism, 100%. The next cryptocurrency, blockchain bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, don't go too hard on the crypto.
Look, I don't have a problem with crypto. I just have a problem with the fundamental
being a CBDC.
The blockchain technology that supports cryptocurrencies that we love is the same technology that'll be used to back the central bank digital currency that is going to totally be the mark of the beast, in my opinion.
I agree.
I'm not saying it's Bitcoin or XRP or Ethereum, but I'm just saying the blockchain tech that has been beta tested with these initial cryptocurrency launches is going to be weaponized and used by the military-industrial complex to usher in a new world order and one new monetary system.
I can agree. It goes hand in hand with AI data centers and CO2. lowering carbon emissions, we are all carbon-based organisms. That's always been a euphemism for lowering the level of life. When they say we need to go net zero, that means they need to kill off 6 to 7 billion human beings, even their pets. You see the articles that you're not going to have pets by 2030? They want to start not issuing...
They don't want us to have pets?
I mean, I read an article about it. I don't have it here, but we can have it for tomorrow. But they want to limit you being able to harness life, you being able to utilize life to sustain your own life. So then they could just wipe you off the board. No hunting from the land, no farming, no being self-sufficient, no nothing.
What if your pet's like a service animal?
That's going to be the first thing to go.
No way, it'll be the last thing because it'll be all the Democrats' pets.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, dude. Everyone's going to be slapping that vest on their dog, their pigeon.
Before I got ahead of myself.
Can you imagine getting a service animal vest for your snake? It's got the little shoulder.
Service snake?
Yeah, it's got the sleeves, but like there's no fucking sleeves on a snake.
My boy Carlos Record has a snake, and he lets it free range, and then he forgets where it went.
No shit?
Yeah, and he has to go look for it all the time.
He loses his snake?
He loses his snake, not the one in his trousers.
Who loses their fucking snake?
But we hit on an important point. All of this agenda, the climate change agenda, it all ties into just even like the shiny object I was saying with these virus releases. It ties into Agenda 2030, which is going to be the next, like, we're going to go into that. It's going to be the theme of the episode now. Should we play clip 515 AI Revolution?
Okay. Play AI Revolution.
Here's a very serious question for you. So the super rich are planning this AI revolution, which is going to knock out 80% of the workforce in the world, but right here at home in the United States especially. So the question is, what do they have planned for the 80% of people that they don't need anymore?
And that's
Ask
a short
yourself
clip.
that.
Can we go right into UN?
What I told you is...
Well, here's the thing that they never tell you about the whole you will own nothing and be happy. Obviously, that comes from a World Economic Forum ad. It goes on to say that you'll rent everything that you use. If you will own nothing, and if everything that you use or have, for lack of a better term, is rented, that means inherently that somebody else owns it. You can't rent something from somebody that doesn't own it, right? And so the question then becomes, all right, if everybody in the at the populist class, at the working class or the regular
Blue collar folks,
at the regular citizen class rents, then who the fuck are they renting from? Does that mean that BlackRock owns everything? Does it mean that the World Economic Forum owns everything? Does it mean that it's the International Bank of Settlements? Is it the United States central government? I mean, this idea that we're all going to rent and never have to own anything, and that it's going to be so much cheaper and so much easier because we don't have to deal with the liability of being property owners, and if something breaks, they can fix it, whatever. Who's going to conglomerate all of the ownership?
The world will be owned by a superclass that numbers in 3,000 at the very top and 6,000 to 7,000 of their minions that do their dirty work. So they are trying to own...
Where are you getting these numbers from?
I heard it from Alex Jones before.
There's probably going to be about 3,000 people at the top.
Yep. So, I mean, that's the technocratic elite. They are blocking out the sun. They are poisoning the animals. They're releasing all these viruses. They're setting up these AI data centers, which we're going to get into a little bit. But there's no need for this many data centers. They suck up 5 million gallons of water a day. They don't filter it when they spit it back out. It's poisoned with all these different plastics and silicates.
Yeah. Why aren't they placing it on the coast and just using salt water to do it? Why does it have to be sourced with fresh water? Why are they contaminating fresh water instead of salt water?
Because they don't want you to be independent. They are poisoning everything. Even if in a little bit, we can harp on this a little more. Clip 519 goes right into that. We know Bill Gates, we know they're chemtrailing from the sky. They're poisoning the air. We know this motherfucker wants to block out the sun. We know that he's making all sorts of biological diseases with mosquitoes and ticks and whatever the fuck else they got planned. And now they're poisoning the water too. It's an attack on all life.
What's 519 called?
Atrazine birth.
Play atrazine birth.
You know about how birth control's in all water now? I didn't know that. There's a bunch of stuff that's poisoning us that we should be really concerned about right now. So there's birth control in the water. Yeah. One, Alex Jones was right about the atrazine and what it does to frogs.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Two, there's a bunch of other stuff that's probably androgenizing us that's not good.
What was the birth control thing again?
Yeah, so when women take hormonal birth control, they then urinate. That goes into the water system. A lot of cities recycle their water. water, but we don't have any specific filtration mechanism for those hormones.
So we're all consuming the birth control.
You're consuming not just birth control, you're consuming drug residue, pharmaceutical residue, heavy metals. They don't filter this shit out at the city or the town water treatment plant. And they actually make sure that no one puts in the filters in place, because you won't get government funding then. Because they say that we need to make sure this works. We need to make sure you're not just crazy. We're never going to fund anything like that. It's an attack on all life, brother.
Yeah.
This comes from the mind of Satan.
They wonder why testosterone levels are way down among men. It's because we're consuming estrogen in our water.
Testosterone down, micro penis is up in a hockey stick graph. Could you imagine being born with a micro penis?
Yeah.
That's like the worst. I wouldn't even wish.
Pedal to the metal, pick up where we left off militarily, keep choking them off economically. And for God's sakes, arm these people. We keep saying they're in a position to rise up. Well, they rose up. These people rose up like no people I've ever seen before, and they lost 50,000 of their fellow citizens, most of them young people. And as I speak to you tonight, they're being hanged one after another. They're being raped. They're being tortured. They're being butchered. What else do these people have to show where they make it clear they want liberation?
It's interesting.
All I know is this.
He wants to
and
liberate.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. When we are,
he wants to liberate Iranian Muslims, but totally does not give a shit about Muslims in Gaza. But I'm with you, dude. Like, here's the thing that I really hate about this whole conflict is everyone's like, if you don't support Israel, it's because you love the Muslims. That's what Mark Levin does. You love the Marxist Muslim cabal, which doesn't even make any fucking sense because Marxists are inherently non-religious. Yeah, so stupid. And if you're critical of the Muslims, then everybody thinks that you're like an Israel shill. And I just don't give a fuck about any of them. I don't want to be involved in any of these. Like, as an American, I believe in freedom of religion, so I accept all religions, whether they're Jewish, whether they're Christian, whether they're atheist, whether they're Muslim. But as a Christian, I don't...
That's like overbearing and a control freak, and then having an ex that's like borderline personality disorder.
Dude, everybody has an ex that's got borderline personality disorder.
Shout out to all the girls with borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, I actually love you.
Should we get into the economy?
Sure.
A little bit.
What do you got?
Play 520 Carmageddon.
Play Carmageddon.
Fucking do it, Darvis.
So car dealerships in America are having a pretty hard time right now, and they need each and every one of you guys who are driving these older vehicles to come on in and buy you a new vehicle. Did you guys hear about Carmageddon? Carmageddon is the dealerships having to close down because their cars are too expensive and nobody's buying these $100,000 trucks and $60,000
I got a clip
vehicles.
for you after this.
So what's happening is right now at car dealerships, they have a surplus of brand new 2023s that they weren't able to sell. They have a surplus of brand new 2024 vehicles that they weren't able to sell. And they have 2025s that they weren't able to sell. And then we're in the 2026 and they have a bunch of those that are still sitting on the lot. That's crazy.
Which, you know, repossessions is like the pizza index of the economy.
Yep. 100%. All right, here's this clip that I want to show you.
But we're not even at repossessions. They can't even sell them.
Give me a second to talk to Darvis. Find NASA parking lot old cars clip. Have you seen this shit? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Let's see if it finds it. All right. Nope, that's not the one. Okay, hold on. Let me try another search. Stand by 1 second. Find government old cars parking lot clip. This might be a hard one for it to find because this is an obscure clip that I found during my days at InfoWars. Dude. No. Nope. 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 Let's see. Find government old cars no electronics clip. If I can't find it this time, we'll skip it. Oh shit. Land of confusion. How to fix a car? No. Every child should be. No idea who this is. Basically, some guy walked through the parking lot. I think it was at NASA, but it might have been a DOD parking lot. And there's like a whole stockpile of old cars that are pre-internet, pre-electronics, pre-anything hackable. And they're like maintained and upkept. They're totally running so that in the event that there's some massive EMP or attack or apocalyptic event, everybody in the government and the defense sector or NASA sector or whatever can get around in these old cars. They have like 1970s, fucking roller windows, no electronics.
Oh, it's like
cars.
a 1984 Hilux, basically.
Yeah, 100%. And so I can't find the clip because it's obscure. But I remember seeing that when I was working at InfoWars. I covered it one time on the show. And it's just wild to me. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, there's so many potential apocalyptic events. And it just seems like a matter of time before it happens.
Well,
Like
I mean, it doesn't seem like a matter of time. Look at, I was saying, like an 8, 9, 10-pronged attack. They're attacking all the necessities for life, air, sun, water. And now we're the next clip I want to recommend to you is from what's happening with the Iran war. Now they're destroying the energy corridors. And not just petrochemicals and oil, but energy and fertilizer, meaning calories.
Which clip?
521, Hormuz.
Play 521.
They're compounding everything.
Of the fertilizers is shipped through the Strait of Hormuz.
Silver Fox.
Now, that is also at risk.
She's a dirty Hormuz.
And it matters particularly in the southern hemisphere, where the planting and therefore the fertilizers is badly needed now. Because if the price of food increases significantly, it is not going to just be the price of food, it is going to be inflation expectations. Because we know that people are particularly attentive to two things: the price of food, processed and unprocessed, and the price of gas at the petrol station. So if the disruption persists long
Those
enough,
fucking earrings, bro.
the adjustment shifts from
like pencil
prices,
sharpeners.
which we are putting up with now, to possibly rationing with very different economic consequences.
Well, what's a motherfucker gonna do?
Well, not to interrupt anything, but that clip goes hand in hand with 524 Grocery Digital, which is already starting to happen now.
Play Grocery Digital.
This is really freaking me out. I'm in my grocery store and my girlfriend just told me about this conspiracy theory, and it's happening in my grocery store right now.
Well, if it's a conspiracy theory, there's no chance it could be true.
I'm gonna show you like regular
Look at fucking
price
Humpty
tags.
Dumpty.
Okay, look.
Oh, is she going to show the digital price tags with cameras that change price when you look at them?
Paper, regular price tags. This is how much everything is. And then you come over here and look at
Talk
these
about
ones.
borderline personality disorder, bro.
Yeah.
Tell me you got a cat
And
without
see the
telling me
little
you got a
black
cat.
dot
She
in the
got
upper
4
right
cats.
corner. It's a camera, so they know how much you
But
can
you've
afford.
seen
They
these,
know
right?
everything about you, so that they can squeeze
No.
every little penny out of you. Is that what she's about to say? I could be crazy, but let's find out.
That's a camera right there.
Wouldn't it be crazy if there was like a sticker over top of it? That would like obstruct the view. Nobody should do that. You probably should not try to obstruct the view of those cameras.
What am I looking at
really
here, dude?
advocate
So
against that.
I got another clip, and I'm going to give some context here. Walmart and a bunch of other chains are rolling out digital price tags with camera lenses on them that give different people different prices based on your biometrics.
So if you're on Snap or if you're on food stamps, then it's more expensive.
They're probably going to charge you more, correct? And if you go to clip 525, Wendy's Surge, this explains it better.
That can't be fucking legal. Okay,
Bro,
all right.
they're doing it.
Play
This is food
Wendy's
rationing.
Surge. Fuck, you probably didn't hear me. Play Wendy's Surge.
Wendy's CEO announcing his company will spend $20 million on high-tech digital menu boards that can update prices in real time, meaning surge pricing, which used to be reserved for rideshare companies, airlines, and hotels, could be coming to a drive-through near you.
During the busy times, they can obviously increase profits then. And also some consumers will want to shift to the less busy times. Prices are lower.
Before it's even taken effect, the new surge pricing is getting a frosty reception online, with one user on X writing, "Surge pricing is just price gouging by any other name." Wendy's telling ABC News in a statement that the decision can allow them to be competitive and flexible with pricing, motivate customers to visit, and provide them with the food they love at a
Jesus Christ.
Bro, they legalized price gouging. I don't even know how this is legal. How can you charge one person a different price than another person for the same fucking product? You tell me we're not going into digital feudalism, which is why I lined up the other clips I did. This is happening right now. This is only being allowed because they know food has to be rationed soon because of what's happening to the energy corridors. It's all interconnected.
Here, let me ask this. Find Bill Gates farmland clip. This is some old news, but people need to hear this shit. Let's see. Been buying up farmland like crazy. The fucking Chinese have been buying up farmland, land next to bases like crazy. We know about this. I come from a family of farmers. My family used to own 1,000 acres of land in McLean County, Illinois, which is the highest producing county of corn in all the world. Right?
You were saying what, Iowa or Illinois?
Illinois, yeah. And, my family sold off all that acreage, and now I've got relatives that rent the land that we used to own in order to farm it, right? So farmers will pay the landowner in order to farm their land, and they'll give them a cut of the yield. That's how it works, right? So none of these farmers own their land anymore. It's getting totally conglomerated, consolidated, just like every other industry, especially the food industry over the course of the last 50 years, to a point where I think that we're highly, highly, highly vulnerable in the event of a massive shortage. And here's the thing. Here's the prediction I want to make next, Bak. I predict that what we're going to see happen is we're going to begin to see. Today is what, May 9th, May 10th? Yeah, it's May 10th as of 13 minutes ago. It's May 10th, 2026. And I predict that in the coming weeks and months, we are going to see claims, maybe even days, that Hantavirus is now infecting produce, specifically infecting beef and poultry. And there's going to be a push.
A culling.
There's a culling, yes, but there's going to be a push to distribute mRNA vaccines to cattle specifically. They're saying, hey, we're not going to vaccinate you. We're just going to vaccinate the cattle so that your food doesn't have the Hantavirus. But what they're not going to fucking tell you is that through the genetic modification, the gain of function research and technology that's implemented in these vaccines, they're going to figure out a way to make these mRNA vaccines transmissible to you through the food that you eat.
Yeah.
So you don't have to consent to being vaccinated. It's just, hey, if you had a hamburger from the grocery store in the last 30 days or 6 months or 6 years, that means you're automatically mRNA vaccinated. They can do that with bioweapons. And the reason the government wants to do this, on the one hand, is from a military-industrial complex sort of national security angle where, hey, we need a way to vaccinate the populace without their consent in the event of a Chinese bio attack on the United States of America, so we can just mass distribute vaccinations through the food that people consume. But what they're not going to tell you is that they can also use this to A, engineer the attack, B, experiment on the populace. And I just think that what's going to happen is we're going to see massive food shortages. We're going to see a push for the vaccination of our produce, our poultry, our beef, and that gain of function research in those vaccines that goes into our livestock and our agriculture is going to be transmissible via consumption, so that we are inadvertently, or not even inadvertently, we are intentionally but unwittingly vaccinated by the food that we eat. I think that's 100% going to happen. The only way that you can do that is if you have a massive conglomeration of all food, either produce or poultry, agriculture, livestock, whatever, right? And so I think the reason that we're seeing this massive conglomeration is because they want to control the food supply, not just for supply and demand purposes, but so that they can experiment with what the population is consuming.
Well, number one, can we call it the Hantavirus? And number two, I have a really good clip that literally goes right into what you're saying. 531, Coke Pepsi.
Play Coke Pepsi.
Now, did you know they have found nanotechnology in Coca-Cola and in Pepsi products?
Nanoparticles, and some are very self-assembling. Nanorobots are deployed, which will be sometime perhaps in the 2020s or the 2030s.
I have a clean pipette. There's nothing in it. It's brand new. So now I'm going to open the product. So here we are, Pepsi Max. Let's open this product. I'm now going to get my product, the product, one drop. And this product is now on the microscope. And I've got it in
You fucking zoom in Hillary Clinton's face.
See what this
Her just frazzle dripped.
So straight away, we've got a huge amount of dots. These are just like I'm seeing the blood. They are building together. These are like quantum dots. This is what I like. This is what I see.
It's coagulating.
By hook or by crook, they will vaccinate you, they will lock you down, they will impoverish you until we are all under a digital feudal system. And the Hantavirus is just the beginning, folks.
We should take some speakers pretty soon. I want to just, hey, if anybody has anything that they want to say, request to speak. I will be adding speakers in a little bit. Before I do add speakers, first of all, I want to go into more clips from you, Bak, but I do want to encourage all the viewers and listeners to please visit chasegeiser.com. That's CHASEGEISER.com, and show your support by becoming a founding member of this show. You guys keep us on the air. We've got a few great founding members now. You can cancel anytime. And you get access to our exclusive community on the back end of the website. It keeps us on air, able to do this. We're doing it right now 3 times a week for 3 hours. We want to do it 5 times a week. We want to get better cameras, better tech, and some crew involved as well. So please consider going to chasegeiser.com. But if you don't want to become a founding member or donate, that's fine. But please go to our YouTube channel. The channel is called Chase Geiser Network. You can find the show Guess Who's Bak with, of course, Steven Bak, my incredible co-host. He's absolutely hysterical. And subscribe there, share there, view there. Also, follow me on X if you're not following me already, at Real Chase Geiser. But please show your support by either going to chasegeiser.com and being a founding member of the Chase Geiser Network, or at least subscribing and sharing our YouTube live streams. I really appreciate you. All right, what's next, Baki?
Funny thing that you said was they're going to consolidate all these corporations, obviously, as we go into this digital feudal system. But what happens when things like...
always stay weird.
So from one end, we have a feudal system coming down from the top down. And at the same time, who works minimum wage jobs? Mostly desperate Marxist type people, like Gen Z, Marxist, Free Palestine type people. They're going to take matters into their own hands and start burning these fucking factories down, which is why you have to support your local farmer. You have to get it. You have to like basically become Susie Homemaker, get a sewing machine, plant a victory garden, become self-sufficient, because you're not going to have a fucking choice sooner or later.
100%. That's one of the things that's been frustrating to me about being in the information war. Is like when you get involved in the info war, whether you work for InfoWars or you're just involved in the info war, you have to stare into the abyss. And when you stare into the abyss, you become aware of things that no one else can even believe is true. And not only do you have to carry the weight of knowing how bad things really are, not only do you have to tolerate good people you know around you who just simply don't understand what you've come to discover, right? It's not because you're a genius or whatever. It's just because you're passionate enough that you dedicated the time. But you also, there's the weight of this hopelessness. Like, all right, I'm aware of all these problems, but what the hell am I supposed to do to stop Bill Gates or the CCP from consolidating all the farmland? What the hell am I supposed to do to stop the government from giving mRNA vaccines to the livestock and the agriculture so that I'm, inadvertently vaccinated against my will? What am I supposed to do to stop us from going to war with Iran? Or what am I supposed to do to save our currency, which is based off of the petrodollar lie? Like, that's the part that I struggle with. And it's not, everybody wants to say, hey, you got to get more involved in your local elections and make sure you're paying attention to the school board and the council. It's like, dude, these problems are so, even if we voted everybody in office who should be voted in office, the bureaucracy is so entrenched that I don't even think good leaders or good people would know what the fuck to do to unravel it. Like, there's no way that you can fix the IRS from the top down. There's no way you can fix the FBI or the CIA from the top down. I mean, these are institutions that need to be totally eradicated and replaced with new institutions that actually do what the old institutions are supposed to do without doing what the existing institutions do.
At this point, we're headed for a collapse scenario. It's unavoidable. But if the majority of population watches Braveheart and The Patriot, and then they get some storable food, when this shit goes down, my friend Contact, shout out to you, he's in Ukraine, has a term. It's called segregate and rearrange. As they collapse, we're gonna have to band together like a Ayn Rand scenario. Remember the Gulch? Yeah, exactly. We're gonna have to, pretty much whoever's left standing that's a patriot, we're gonna have to get together like this is Bundy Ranch. Remember that in 2013?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have the moral high ground. And when they start taking us out, dragging us off to FEMA camps, we need to be ready to defend ourselves, because that's what's coming. No man can stand alone. It's about a community. So we're not going to vote our way out of this. It's a spiritual problem.
Yeah.
This is an attack by the devil.
Yep. Trump was the last Hail Mary.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty disappointed.
He was the last Hail Mary, and he hasn't been able to solve it. Excuse me. So I don't know who else is going to be able to. Let me just ask you this. Hold on. I'm gonna go to Grok real quick. How many? Oh shit! I gotta sign in again. What a fucking pain in the cock. I want to see the increase in poultry farm fires. Let's see if it remembers my login here. Yeah, authorize app. I'm gonna find this shit. Oh my god. Welcome, Chase. Manager XA. No, I just want to fucking chat with Grok.
Let's talk to it.
All right. How many poultry farm fires from 2020 to 2024 compared to previous 4 years? Look at this. This will blow your fucking mind. There wasn't any incredible, crazy drought that took place.
And this is starting from COVID, right? When we first started hearing about that?
Yeah. It was around the COVID stuff. Here, let me see if I can get it to play back. All right. Let's see here. All right, it says the number of reported deadly barn fires appears similarly or slightly lower in recent years. I didn't say barn fires, animal deaths, poultry. Okay.
Oh my
2020 to 2024 saw very high death tolls driven by 2020 and 2024, right? Often exceeding prior averages, even as the raw number of fires stayed comparable or dipped slightly. Cumulative since 2013, 8 to 9 million animals, vast majority. Let's see here. It's not even fucking giving me the accurate information.
Well, there's a breakdown. What says 2.7 million from 18 to
2021. Yeah, 135 fires per year from 2018 to 2021. But these are barn fires. I said poultry specifically. Yeah. Weird. Yeah, so from 2018 to 2021,
2.99 million.
Yeah, it's saying Fuhrer, it's not right. Dude, it's not giving the accurate information. I'm going to do specifically chicken farms. Okay, cool. I'll keep it rolling. And by the way, guys, you guys can request to speak. We will take speakers for the last half of the show. All right. Fires and deaths versus previous period. Oh, my God. All right, for 2020 to 2024 specifically, this period saw extremely high chicken death tolls, likely exceeding 4 million chickens. Number of fires was comparable or slightly lower, but the deaths per fire rose due to larger operations, occasional massive incidents. Overall, chicken barn fires remain a persistent issue tied to intensive confinement systems. Dude, it will not give me a fucking straight answer. I'm going to do auto deep dive. Deep dive comparison. I did this before when I was on InfoWars and it was giving me accurate information. Now it's not, but we'll see. All right. Yeah, significant spike. 2019, significant spike. 469,000 animals killed. Michigan alone, 253,000. 2020, major spike. 1.6 plus million animals, mostly chickens, were killed. 2021, 681,000. 2022, 518,000. 2024, 1.5 million. Fires comparable or slightly lower in frequency than peak recent years, but deaths far higher overall. 4.5 to 5 plus million chickens between 2020 and 2024 died. In 2020 to 2024, due to the scale of modern operations, one fire can now kill 100K to 1.2 million birds. Whereas in 2018 to 2021, it was only 748,000 per year. Broader context, scale, prevention, data limitations. 2020 to 2024 showed comparable or fewer reported fires than 2016 to 2019, but dramatically higher chicken death tolls due to occasional massive incidents at large commercial operations. Yeah, dude. So we're way up. I just told it to do a deeper dive, and I switched it from fast.
How deep did they go, Daddy?
They went, yeah, over 5 million. As many chickens died between 2020 to 1.5 million the prior period.
Remember how you said they're using food as vaccines? They're actually doing that in France right now.
No shit?
Yeah, the farmers are hiding their cows, and the French police, the gendarme or whatever, I don't know how to pronounce it, they're using thermal drones to find them and vaccinate their cows with mRNA shots.
I want to hear from some speakers in the space. Why is nobody requesting to speak? Where are my homies at?
Come on in, the water's warm.
The water's warm. I should invite more people to the space. What we'll do in the future is we'll invite people ahead of time.
That's all right.
It's officially Mother's Day, by the way. Any mothers in the space? Happy Mother's Day.
Yep.
Congratulations. You did it.
Successful reproduction. All my single mothers out there, too.
Dude, we haven't even gotten into any of the disclosure stuff yet.
Oh, we have a couple clips on that. Yeah, for sure. I just got all hemmed up on you will own nothing and like it.
Yeah. Oh, my God. You know what? I'm going to find that clip. Find the WEF you will own nothing and be happy clip. It's the ad. It's not actually Klaus Schwab saying it. It's just in one of their fucking ads.
Hell of a marketing campaign.
Oh, my God.
Right after that?
Sure.
And as always, I'll see you next
Which
time.
button's Darvis?
Shine,
I'll do it.
freeze,
Give me the clip.
China. 528. China surveillance social credit score.
Play China surveillance.
Today in China, there are some 600 million surveillance cameras, one for every 2 citizens, able to track people's movements down to the minute.
Every street corner, there's facial recognition, there's digital recognition, there's the social credit system. The social credit system is the sort of highest aspiration of the Chinese Communist Party, to have everything every human being does go into a computer system. And with AI and all sorts of other sophisticated programming, you can know exactly where a person is because he'll have bought something with a credit card or a digital payment system. His car will have gone down a highway. Every kilometer, there's a camera taking pictures of your license plate. They will know everything about everybody real time. This creates a kind of a techno-autocratic system that's unprecedented and with which we've had no experience.
Well,
remember how we were talking about the good things Trump's done?
Yeah.
I've had a thought recently. So what if he closed the border not to keep people from getting in, but to keep people from getting out?
You think we're trapped in here?
I didn't believe my buddy Kyle, and he had a good point. It's us against the elite, because at the time I was endorsing Trump very heavily. But what if, like, I know we need ICE. I know we need mass deportations. But what if he's setting, and this is just another angle, I don't know if I quite believe this yet, but what if he is setting up a secret police force? The border was not meant to keep people out. It's shut down to keep people from leaving.
Well, I mean, it lines up with some of the updates that they made to the FEMA camps, right? They're going to turn Walmarts into camps.
Every single Walmart has a deal with Homeland Security.
Yeah. Do you remember the Alex Jones report that we did maybe a year ago or a year and a half ago, where we found that they'd updated the encampment policies for the government, and they like had the blueprints of how they were laid out. Like, here's the ping pong room, here's the re-education room, here's where
Vaguely,
people
I do
sleep.
kind of remember that.
Yeah, dude, they're updating those documents regularly on what the policy is and what the layout and infrastructure is for these camps, and they're just very bizarre. I mean, it's like straight from the internment. We still have all the same policies that we had in the 1940s for the Japanese, only it's indiscriminate. I mean, they can intern anybody that they want to by just declaring martial law or declaring a national emergency.
People don't realize that every Walmart, for the most part, is 2 stories. Those basements are huge.
I didn't realize
Big
that.
enough for 18-wheelers to go into to make their deliveries.
Wow.
Quite a lot of them.
Wow.
And if you don't listen, you know, like, can you ask Darvis to play 3-gram explosive charge drone?
Do I need to find it?
Yeah, I think you have to. I don't have the clip.
Find 3-gram explosive charge drone clip. Let's see if we can find one here. Darvis is the best crew ever, other than the real crew.
Oh, that's it, I think.
This is the fake AI one with the swarm of drones.
Well,
that's enough of this clip. Ugh.
I mean, we are kind of fucked a little bit. I don't think watching Braveheart's going to save you from that, but like I wanted.
Yeah. I don't know what the solution is. I think it's just for everybody to wake up and nobody to comply. We got to stop paying income tax.
Yeah, we need a tax rebellion, but then, you know, the first one that says that gets car bombed.
Let's talk about disclosure. We don't have to show any clips. We should just at least talk about it.
Yeah. I do have 2 clips for later for it, but
well, you want to play a clip to start us off?
I mean, we can bookend it with it because it kind of goes into why I think they're doing this now.
Hold on, we got some speakers requesting now. Finally, add a speaker. Hey. All right, Robert, unmute yourself. What do you have to say?
First, I think a lot of people don't request because the video overrides the space, so it's hard to find. I had to go onto your profile and you posted it there.
Oh,
so
yeah, I'm with you.
just so you're aware.
Thanks, Robert.
The drones are a big thing, and I don't even think we've seen the tip of that iceberg yet. But we got to start, the AI data centers have to be linked in with that because there's no reason they need that much processing power. But I was thinking earlier today, there was this movie maybe like 10 or 20 years ago about the Antichrist. And in that movie, they had like VR goggles and you would put on and you would go to this like virtual world, but it actually acted like the real world, kind of like the Matrix. And in there, they like at the end of the movie, they made you basically renounce Christ, and then this Antichrist figure shows up in the VR world. If you didn't bow down and like serve him and get the mark of the beast, they used a guillotine in the VR world, and it actually killed you in the real world. I don't know if anyone's seen that movie.
So if they kill you in the metaverse, you die in the real world too, just like the Matrix?
Yeah, in that movie, that's how it went. So with all these AI data centers popping up, I mean, the more and more, like I wasn't very religious before since COVID, but now I'm like, man, a lot of things are lining up here.
Yeah.
Things are getting pretty crazy.
It's funny you say that because Steve Quayle was one of the first guys I've heard say this back in like 2012. There's already been something like 30,000 guillotines pre-positioned throughout FEMA camps, just waiting. Remember the plastic liner coffins during Ebola?
Vaguely.
Yeah, they overordered those by the millions. And there was no Ebola outbreak then. So they just use it as cover. They're ready for this, bro. I think you're onto something.
Keep going. I'm updating something on my end.
Okay.
Oh, Robert just dropped as a speaker.
Did he?
Yeah. Request to speak again if you want, Robert. Anybody else who wants to speak, please request.
Yeah, we
We're
want to
trying
hear
hang out.
from...
I know a lot of people are watching on the live stream, but you can bounce out and pop into the spaces on X, or if you're on YouTube, you can go to @RealChaseGeyser and jump into the space and request to speak. I'll let anybody speak tonight. We're having a good time.
Well, I'm getting a little anxiety, but that's all right.
What are you anxious about?
About that fucking drone swarm. How the hell are you going to 1776 that, dude?
Keep going, Baki. I got to type this.
All right. Well, I mean, we do have a relevant clip to what he just said. It's Alex clip. Should I command Darvis, our slave, to do that?
Yeah. What is it?
534 AI data centers.
Play AI data centers.
You think they're getting ready to power something like a Ready Player One scenario with Neuralink, where the Earth is so poisoned that you don't want to even go outside, and you get like drone delivery of food, like, you get your GMO mRNA burger mailed to you through the sky, and then you just never leave your Ready Player One simulation because the air, the sunlight, the water, the soil, everything's just poisoned?
Say again?
So if they make a Ready Player One scenario, you've seen that movie, right, Chase?
Of course. Love that movie.
Then that is like pretty much, that means Huxley and who's the guy that wrote 1984?
Orwell.
That was his pen name. That means that they were both right and it met in the middle. It's not a boot on your face forever, but it's not just Soma getting you to check in and check out. It's the meeting of that.
The dystopian future seems to be the average of 1984 in A Brave New World. It's something in between. I mean, we're all hopped up on SSRIs, but at the same time, there's this massive technocratic surveillance state, like AI meets big pharma. It's technocracy and I don't know, pharmacracy.
A pharmacratic.
Well, how do you think the silicone chips? Sorry, the X app was glitching on me, so I had to drop off.
No, you're fine.
But the silicone chips that the Masterpiece team was talking about. I don't know if you listened to.
I just lost you for a second,
shit.
Robert. I'm not sure what happened to you. I don't know if it's Spaces or if it's you.
We lost you, Bobby.
Try to leave and join again as a speaker, and I'll re-add you. Hopefully, give a thumbs up if you're in the audience and you can still hear us okay with it. Me at least, okay? Yeah. All right, he left as a speaker. Let's see if he requests to join again. In the meantime, I'm going to invite Taylor Sable to speak.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Sounds like a porn star.
Maybe. I wouldn't know. Timu Bob, you should speak too. Hey, Taylor, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good.
Just letting you know. Can hear you just fine, brother.
Cool. What's on your mind?
Actually, since the alien disclosure began, just in general, not an overwhelming curiosity, but just curious. I've seen some posts lately going around that the holy crap moment is still yet to be released, so that's something to look forward to.
I think they're definitely going to escalate the intensity of these releases. They always tease it, man.
Mm-hmm. That's why they're dripping out the batches.
Yeah, they're going to. Same with like the Epstein stuff, right? They give you the binder that everybody already had, and then they release more and more, and then there's all these emails, and then it's legit kind of new information after that, and then they like redact the stuff they accidentally over-released. We're going to see the same thing with UFO disclosure, I think.
100%.
I think in the next 3 to 6 weeks, we're going to be hearing about beings that were found or dissected from some of these. But it seems to me that what's going on is a lot of these extraterrestrial beings or interdimensional beings, or a lot of this technology is coming from the ocean. And I think that these drones are manufactured by some advanced intelligence underneath the water at the deepest parts of the ocean. And I think they fly up. And I think these people have been here for whatever you want to call them.
That's what Tim Burchett's been saying.
I think these beings have been here for at least 100 years, if not thousands of years. But what do I know? It's just my intuition. I mean, nobody really knows anything. Everything's speculation at this point.
It would make sense. I wouldn't be surprised if they're coming from the ocean. I mean, just like, we use the 20% of the internet. We barely know anything about our ocean.
Yeah. Did you see, by the way, that most of the internet is being crawled by bots and AI now?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, they've been attacking my website big time. It's been a big issue the last couple of weeks.
Really? What's your website?
One of my companies, wearerealty.com, my real estate brokerage. I've been getting like millions of bot requests every day. They're just crawling all of our property listings. And it like for a couple weeks, we couldn't even get the website really working. So we had to program some new methods to stop them. Most of them, it looked like they were coming from China and Singapore.
Holy shit. That's like a MDOS attack, right? Pretty much.
Or
like
DDoS.
Or DDoS, I mean,
attack,
yeah.
Usually that's just hitting one page. I could tell that these were crawling like every single page. So, and I noticed a lot of them were called this TikTok spider
Dude,
bot.
it's just fucking Erika Kirk slam and refresh on your website, dude.
She might be, but we don't have Arizona yet. So unless she's looking somewhere in California or Florida.
Yeah, dude, all of your hits are coming from Huachuca.
Fort Huachuca, they got some good real estate there, I hear. She's probably looking to buy that up.
I mean, if that's happening to his realty website, that's how much spam you think's just gumming up just regular middle class business owners. This is like happening to everybody right now, then, huh?
I was just thinking about this. This is a distraction, but I have not seen a single TPUSA representative, staffer, influencer, correspondent use the same lapel mic that Charlie used since Charlie died.
Holy shit, I didn't even think about that.
I'm like 90% certain it was that mic.
It was the fucking mic.
Dude, it was not a 30-06 bullet. That's the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard in my life.
Mm-hmm.
The only question I have about it, though, is The only visible mark of blood was on his other side of the neck. So how would it explode from the other side of his chest? I would think it would go through the neck and then out there.
Was there no
So
exit wound on the other side of his neck?
There was only wound. It's hard to tell if it's an entry or exit wound, but really only one place of blood coming out.
When was that blood seen, though? Was it after he'd been aided?
No, it was like 2 seconds in.
Right
on the
right
back
when
of
he
his
got
neck.
hit.
You didn't remember the
I remember the blood on the front of his neck.
Yeah, I didn't remember any blood on the back of his neck.
No, that's what I'm talking on the front left side. That's the only.
Yeah.
So it's an entry
but
wound.
Mike was on the right side of his chest.
Yeah. But I think it shot up at like a 45-degree angle into his neck.
It's definitely possible.
Did you see
I mean, that's the most logical thing out of all the evidence.
Because like if I'm looking to my right, and I don't remember if he was, that exposes this part of my neck to my chest, you know, and it just seemed to me like it was like pop right here, and then he turned, you know, when the momentum of the impact flew him back, so it looked like it was from the right angle that it came, but it totally could have been from this lapel.
Well, the Iranians said that they have. Remember how Cash Patel's emails got hacked, and then we found out he had the X Videos account, Spider Cash.
Spider Cash, baby.
Spider Cash.
Spider Cash.
They said that they found emails that prove it's a cover up, and that it was a lapel mic bomb, but it malfunctioned, and it was supposed to blow a hole in his chest, but instead it almost decapitated him.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know if has it been confirmed whether or not he was wearing body armor.
Yeah, he wasn't. I don't believe.
I haven't heard anything about that.
The only other thing that kind of made sense or a possibility is supposedly there's like a bird, maybe it was a drone caught in one of the videos. And I heard rumors that maybe there was a plane that could release a drone that flew over around that time. So, that's the only other thing I could think of. If you fly, again, one of those murder drones down with a projectile, that's a potential.
Maybe Elon's right. And this, like, he's suing Sam Altman right now, and he's trying to democratize the AI arms race. But maybe the only way we can really defend ourselves in the future is with our own drones. Our own drone swarms.
Yeah, they'll make that illegal so fucking fast.
Yeah, they were saying they're going to make consumer grade drones illegal pretty soon. So we're not even going to have access. So
there's just too much things people with bad intentions and ill will can do with drones in general.
Yeah.
But that's probably what they're seeing and focusing on the most.
Well, drones are pretty easy to shoot down, though. The problem is everything that you need to do that, they've made illegal.
Dude,
So
I don't
they're
even know. I have a clip right here if you want to play. It's like a 7-second clip, but this is the drone technology right now. 529 Soldier Combat.
Play Soldier Combat.
You think you can shoot that down, bro? Like, and that's like a
Not
Maverick
with a gun,
DJI.
no. But I mean, like with a net, you can shoot it with EMP targeted devices. I mean, there's ways to get them down. Not with a gun. That would be really hard to shoot a drone.
Have you seen those clips on Chinese TikTok where they're using directed energy weapons to do tree removal?
What?
Yeah, I have it in my library. I have for tomorrow's
the
show.
lasers, right?
Yeah,
To
the
cut
lasers,
through it?
bro.
I even saw a guy try to make a lawnmower with lasers.
Yeah, no, they're cutting. I've seen that too. They're doing.
Was it RFK or somebody else that was pushing for lasers to be the new weed killer for crops?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
Instead of pesticides?
It's going to be so fucking expensive. Why are they doing that? It's probably just like
Actually, no, it's just like the initial cost of the machine. Like, if you've seen videos of it, it's just like going over the rows of the crops, and it's kind of like a laser printer. Like, it's just kind of targeting and going back and forth.
Yeah, it
and
uses
hitting them.
AI and it hits all the weeds and like burns them. I mean, the future is going to be super cool if we can survive it, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
I think we're at this fork. Like, we're either going to go into total shit or we're going into a great future. My concern right now is this whole oil thing. I think they're cutting off all the oil, blowing up these refineries, because that's their main play to get us into poverty.
Yeah, well, 100%. When you attack the energy, it's not just about petrochemicals or fuel, like I was saying earlier. You're literally attacking the fertilizer that's made from it. So you're attacking the calories that we have access to.
Not even that, just transportation. I mean, if diesel's at what, like $8 a gallon now, if that doubles again, and from what I'm hearing, we just got the last ship from the Gulf. It was a Chinese ship delivering Iraqi oil. It was the very last one before this thing broke off, arrived in California. So we haven't even seen the effects yet.
Oh man, I heard a prediction from you guys. I don't know if the listeners have ever heard this as investment advice, but I've heard a lot of older heads really recommending that people stock up on Iraqi dinar. Have you guys ever heard that?
Yeah, my mom's, we're all into that. I even invested a little bit. I was like, I'll just do a flyer, a couple $1,000, see what happens. But there's this whole subset that thinks there's going to be disclosure. We're going into this golden age. There's going to be a complete reset of the, Iraqi dinar, basically all the currencies. And they think it's going to happen really soon. But they've been saying that for a long time now. I'm not seeing how that plays out in the near future.
Well, if you know about Iraq, they're sitting on oil reserves that rival Saudi Arabia's. So, and we've artificially kept their currency low, just like the VND, the Vietnamese dong. That's another one that I've heard recommended. Anywhere the U.S. went to wage war, we go in there, the currency plummets, we put sanctions on them, and then Trump is in an interview with Laura Ingraham saying this, we start harvesting and collecting their currency. So we have like $40 billion worth of Iraqi dinar. We have billions of dollars worth of Vietnamese dong. And I think the U.S. is waiting for like a currency reset.
Well, yes. I mean, it definitely is a possibility. I just don't see how Iraq's in big trouble too if they can't get their oil out now. My thinking is, what if Trump screwed up and that was the plan? They were going to, take care of Iran, kind of pacify them to then prop up all these oil countries. And it went sideways on him. And now he thought it was going to be in and out quick, like his Venezuela deal. And now he's just like fucked. He's like, oh shit, I didn't realize it would go like this, even though pretty much everyone in the Department of War, which is kind of weird that they changed that name and no one even really talks about that. But maybe it just went sideways on him, and now we're in this big pickle with the Strait.
I'm under the impression Iran already has nuclear weapons. I don't think that this was to stop Iran from enriching to hit a certain threshold to produce nuclear weapons. I think that they were getting close to putting the nuclear weapons they already have on hypersonic missile delivery systems. And that's what this is more about. And I think Iran's playing the long game with Russia and China and BRICS, and they're waiting for America and Israel to overextend, because our military defense complex, everyone's like, oh, we spend $1 trillion, we spend $700 billion. Most of that goes to price gouging. The military defense industrial complex is there to enrich people with money. It's not there to produce weapons. And it takes us years to restock what we've already used in a month.
100%.
So I'm kind of leaning there with you, brother. They're going to let Israel overextend, become the villain of the world. And then this really is biblical prophecy.
Yeah, it kind of the biblical prophecy says everyone gears up against Israel. But right now we're still seeing Saudi and a lot of these other countries side with Israel and kind of go against Iran. Now they're being a little more neutral. But either way, what matters now is the strait's closed. You can monitor these ships, right? There's websites you can go on and see the ship traffic. And that's not just 20% of the oil, right? That's not just the fertilizer. That there's helium that comes out of there. It buckles everything. And then they're like, oh, well, we produced our own oil in America, so we won't be affected. But we didn't develop the refineries that can actually refine the type of oil that most
we refine heavy crude.
Yeah.
So then I think that was a piece why he went after Venezuela first, because he probably realized, okay, we need their soft, sweet oil to be able to refine it at home to absorb some of that potential blowback. But I don't think we're really seeing the effects of this yet. Like, I think in the next 2 months, oil can easily double from here. And if it doubles from here, just imagine how many people are not going to want to go to work. I already have employees of my own that said, I don't want to do this, this, and this because the gas is so expensive. So, and it's really only gone up, what, 50% maybe since everything started? What if it doubles again from here in a short period of time? How are we going to get Amazon Prime delivered?
That's a really good point. And at the same time, you scare people with a new virus. So everything goes remote right into the digital world that they're building the AI data centers to be able to power.
What if they're doing the virus to prevent some of the oil as well? Because they're thinking, okay, just like COVID, right? Remember when COVID first hit? And
yeah, people didn't want to go out.
Like no one wanted to leave, so oil went negative. So maybe that's like their whole play is, okay, if we do another virus, we'll bring that down. My question is, why isn't Bill Gates arrested? I mean, what this guy is over here doing all this evil shit. He's doing the ticks, trying to get people off and can get rid of it. But more importantly, it's beyond just a technical, physical thing. It somehow connects to our spirit, basically like the soul realm, and can entrap us into the astral realm. And that their plan is the people that they're going to keep here, they don't want them to die. And we're going to be like enslaved, almost like maybe in these AI virtual worlds for them. I don't know what they're planning, but with the 6G and all, I mean, why do you need data centers that big? It just doesn't make sense. I computer program. I've been programming all night. It doesn't make sense.
We have an overcapacity in processing power for sure. And I kind of fuck with you a lot on the spiritual realm and the technology tie into it, because I've been getting into, I have a lot of clips for this for later episodes. These, if you look at what a microchip looks like, it looks like a lot of the signs and the sigils that Solomon used to trap demons, you know? So if you look at fractal antennas, if you look at the graphene oxide and the self-assembling nanobots, they always assemble into these like shapes that are like, look like ancient runes, essentially.
Yeah, that's the witchcraft, spiritcraft. Now, that brings me, I was just thinking, what is MAGA?
That's a dark magician.
Is the highest dark magician. It's like the president's, it's the president of the dark magician wizards.
Remember what Marina Abramovich said, that she loves Trump because he's the ultimate dark magician. He's the ultimate catalyst. Then we did this, our first test stream, how he did that tweet, that truth tweet mocking Jesus, you know?
Yeah, and then, I mean, it's just crazy. But what I've been reading about that connection, there's this kind of not really well heard of, but there's a couple sources that really go into this deep. And they've been talking about USDR, which is this digital currency, and the system that they said is called Obsidian, which is basically the control system. And there'll be 3 or 4 classes. It's like sovereign class, which would be like a Trump, the elites. They have no limits. They can do whatever they want. Then there's common class, quarantined, and restricted. And if you're on a restricted class, you're screwed. Like, you can't travel, you can't use any of the money, you can't do anything with it. And, that if they need that with this new 6G, because it was very interesting where Trump said, we need 6G, it goes into the skin.
Yep. He goes, what do you need to see deeper into someone's skin? I remember that clip.
Why would I need that to stream my Netflix show?
Well, it's not for data.
I can order Amazon Prime already. Why do we need that?
Well, the Wi-Fi waves already do that. They map out everything. It's like sonar, you know? Remember that Batman movie with Christian Bale where he found where all the bad guys were because he was hacking into the Wi-Fi to see where they were in the room?
Yeah, no, we know for sure the Wi-Fi does it. Alex Jones was talking about that 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That they can map that out. Now, I think looking back on how everything played out, I think there was a huge push 40, 50 years ago for the lead-based paint because of this.
Yes.
That was right around when they were developing this tech. They realized, oh shit, we can look into these things, but if these houses are painted with lead-based paint, we can't penetrate it.
I've heard that theory too. I kind of fuck with that.
Campaign, your baby's gonna eat some lead-based paint chips and be retarded for life. I mean, which that's pretty rare. I mean, we have lead-based paint disclosures. It's a big thing in the real estate world because of that. But I've never, we use lead for many things. They had lead water pipes for years and years and years.
Yeah, we put lead in our gasoline.
So I think it's more of they wanted to be able to.
I think they've proven that the lead in the gasoline caused like the violent crime in the 70s and 80s is what I've heard. So it may not be all great. But.
Wow. Maybe Ted Bundy was innocent after all, and they should have just let him go because it was a lead-based paint.
Dude, he was MK Ultra.
Yeah, he was
all those fucking guys.
Dude, Charles Manson too. I have a clip for tomorrow.
You ever seen the Oklahoma City bombing
you
guy?
10 episodes.
The Oklahoma
Timothy
City
McVeigh?
bombing guy? Well, yeah, but he looked just like that FBI agent later.
Yeah, I see.
Actually, let me see if I can find that clip real quick. Hold on a second. Find Timothy McVeigh, FBI agent. Let's see if this pops up. This will blow your fucking mind. Yeah.
At this point, I wouldn't even be surprised.
There's him speaking, but
well, Trump always says central casting, right?
Oh my God.
You said that too many times for it to just be a random term.
He always speaks in code. The number 88. I don't believe a lot of the Q shit, but there's definitely threads of truth and little nuggets here and there because he's speaking in code like all the fucking time.
Dude,
I gotta say the Q thing is pretty interesting because I think a lot of us for a long time looked into that and we like crossed our fingers like hoping, holy shit, we hope this is really what's going down. And I think now people are starting to come to Jesus to be like, I don't see how this is playing out like Q. There's still a couple hopefuls, but then you got to realize, the Operation Trust, when you look into that with the Bolshevik Revolution that was used to pacify.
Yeah, and see who the opposition is going to be.
So, I mean, if the Bolsheviks, if those same, elites that controlled that revolution at that period are now, generations later doing this, why wouldn't they use that same playbook just in a modern fashion?
Which would go into exactly what I'm saying, that maybe the border being shut wasn't to keep people out. It's an open air prison. The AI data centers are here to track us in the prison. And then,
I have been concerned about that. It reminds me of Escape from New York or Escape from LA, those old movies.
Play that clip from Escape from New York. Look, I'm not out of the crew, but I sent you this clip like 3 hours ago. Crew's great. They're stressed out. There's not enough of them. State won't let us get any more employees. We need like 3 more people back there. Anyway, keep going.
But Escape from New York, the character, like the president character, is kind of a Trump-like character.
Same with the Civil War movie.
They wall off. That's like a J.D. Vance character. So my theory is maybe they think Trump's going to be out by then. If shit really hits the fan, J.D. will be.
Dude, if J.D. Vance gets a fucking mustache, we know Civil War's happening.
He's got the beard already. I think the guy in Civil War had a beard.
Let me see if I can find this. Find the Civil War assassination scene.
Hey, what do y'all think about J.D. Vance looking just like the satanic
Erika
guy?
Kirk?
Yeah, that too. But they both look like they're children of. I'm in the hospital right now. I'm kind of doped up. Who's the guy that was the satanic Air Force guy that wrote all those?
Michael Aquino?
Yeah, Michael Aquino. Yeah. They pull that up.
Holy shit! I never even thought that, brother. He does kind of look like a Chuck E. Cheese version of him.
Spitting image, I think. Yeah.
All right. I'm testing out some changes to this app. Go ahead and say something in the space.
Hey, Chase, man, I really appreciate the show, man. I'm glad you're doing it. It seems really awesome. Seems like your co-host is a really cool guy, and y'all balance each other out really good. This is just awesome.
I appreciate it, man. Please support us at chasegeiser.com if you can, or make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's how we're going to keep this thing rolling. My goal is to be able to do this like full time in a year.
I haven't even plugged my handle once, and I'm at Real Steve Bak, Steven Bak on IG and X.
Yeah, follow Steven. He's fucking hilarious.
X is my racism app, so you can see me get into it with a bunch of people.
All right, somebody in the space speak. I want to see if this auto switcher I just made works.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so-
isn't it interesting that a few years ago they went through our strategic oil reserves, and now we're in this situation? I kind of knew something like that was going to happen.
Well, here's what I was hearing today. I think a lot of people don't realize this. Once the oil runs out, it's very hard to restart a lot of these manufacturing and refining processes, and the tanks can never fully empty. They have what's called like dead weight in these tanks. Like 20% of all the storage tanks for oil can't be empty because like the bottom 10% is just like sand and water. And then if you get below 20%, you basically start clogging up the whole system.
That's what Mike Adams was saying.
I didn't hear him say that, but yeah, I mean that's just the facts of the reality. And then the refining systems, if you stop refining because there's no product, it's like an extremely difficult process to start. Some of these refiners have never been stopped in like 100 years. And we just got the last shipment of 2 million barrels of oil from the Gulf. We can't refine our own product. So that means any product that comes in needs to be shipped here and transited as well. I don't think anyone's realizing how this domino effect is going to play off. Because even if they open the strait today, it's a 2 to 3 month lag.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just think how this is going to play out. Diesel's going to go, we're already at $8 a gallon. I think it's going to go $15, $20, $30 a gallon by midsummer.
Bro, if it goes $30 a gallon, that's like literally the end of Western civilization. We're never going to recover from that. Ever.
I mean, pretty much every business, no trucking's going to happen unless it's very expensive. How are you going to get the food?
Everything's just-in-time delivery too right now.
How are you going to get just-in-time delivery? Then you have the fertilizer issue.
Yeah, 40% of the crops that were planted last year weren't planted this year. And you're always eating food from 6 to 11 months ago.
And that's not even the gasoline, right? How are people going to drive to work? Who's going to drive to their Starbucks job when it's $15 a gallon?
Yep.
So then what you're going to see is in the cities, everyone's going to try to use the mass transit. That's not going to work. It doesn't have the capacity for it. So then what are you going to, I mean, how are all these businesses going to operate? Right? So then you have the businesses not being able to get the employees. No customers are going to want to, you know, why would you spend $30 in gas to go pick up a $10 sandwich?
Yeah, they're going to force us into 10-minute city type situations or 15.
That's the 15-minute city play right there. You're not going to want to leave. Airline traffic is going to be for the super rich, who's probably going to use their own planes anyway, because with the price of jet fuel, I mean, I'm hearing that Europe's going to run out of jet fuel. Like you won't even be able to fill up if you fly to Europe to come back.
Yeah, Great Britain's already rationing. Australia has like 2 weeks left, from what I hear, of jet fuel reserves.
So Spirit Airlines was the first. They said their number one thing was the cost of fuel that pushed them over the edge in the past.
And they were right on the margins too. Holy shit.
So that's Spirit. They're right on the margins. I mean, how is United? How is American? How are any of them going to operate? How do you do a job where you travel every week to go back and forth? You're not going to pay $3,000 a ticket for a seat in economy.
And you know, the UAE just left OPEC, right? On May 1st.
well, I mean, Trump said that's a good thing. They can do their own thing. I mean, the only thing that was propping up, I didn't even factor that into the biggest problem of all, the dollar. Because the only reason anyone wants the dollar is because other countries were buying it and using it because they needed to get it for the oil. If that separates, which it pretty much has, because now you can't even get the oil that they were using the dollars to get. Saudi Arabia opened up on the other Gulf on the other side, but that's a fraction of the volume. So now you have the bond system where the whole system works, where the US Treasury makes a stupid document that says this is an IOU, and they sell that Treasury bond to someone else that gives them cash. Most of the time for the last several decades, other countries were buying it. China, Japan was a huge holder. They're now all dumping it. I heard that in the last bond auction, like a month ago, there's almost zero buyers. So then what happens? The only buyer then is the Fed.
And then they're going to increase their balance sheet. And then they were winding down. They're going to have to reopen that. The yen carry trade is fucking done now. Japan's in big trouble. Dude, if you think about it, there was a very interesting point that was brought up. Every superpower is maxed out to the extent of their capability. And every single, you can see it now. Wow, it's right in front of me. Every single prominent country is going to have to shift into a wartime economy just to maintain production for basic necessities and to maintain control of their population. And Henry Kissinger has always said, you control nations with oil and populations with food. And they're both being attacked. At the same time, Russia, obviously, look at the manpower shortage. They're losing well over 1 million men. The ruble has crashed and they've had to shift to a wartime economy. China has a real estate bubble that's going to be the biggest, with Evergrande going down like a year and a half ago or a year ago. It's the biggest real estate bubble in the world. I don't even think they have the population they said they have. They've been killing people off since COVID. Did you know that 20 million something cell phone lines went inactive? From I forgot what the guy's name was, but he was tracking it. So they're just killing people left and right. And then now the U.S. is fully shifting into a wartime economy. So all the three superpowers, they're maxed out. There is no more leverage.
100%.
Everyone is maxed out except one country. Every other country has the max credit card, and it's about to get declined. The only country that doesn't is El Salvador, which is kind of ironic because they switched to Bitcoin, right? They really have been doing some good things in El Salvador. There's some things I don't like about it too, but it's ironic that El Salvador means the savior in Spanish.
I did not know that. But they're an island nation. They're pretty fucked once the petrodollar goes down because they don't grow. They don't have the protein.
No, they're
that
not
they
an
need,
island.
right?
They're on the peninsula of South.
Oh, it's
America.
a peninsula? Okay,
Yeah,
never
near
mind.
Panama, Ecuador, that whole area.
Well, they do have pretty fertile
oil.
farmland.
They have their own oil. They can be self-sustaining in El Salvador. They got beaches, they got oil, they got, all natural resources you could want, similar to Venezuela. They're going to be pretty good, except the world powers are probably going to come down on them hard, right? They've tried to get at El Salvador through the IMF, and they basically told them to pound sand. If Bitcoin works, because if the whole financial system goes down,
then
Bitcoin,
the digital goes up.
Digital goes up. I mean, it makes perfect sense that this whole play crash the oil, make it unaffordable, unavailable. You're saying, Japan, all these, China, went to a wartime economy a decade ago. Several years ago, they started announcing that, especially after COVID. But how do you even have that economy if you don't have oil? Do we not remember that World War II, Japan attacked us because we had an
we cut them
embargo
off
of the oil? When you cut off the oil, shit goes down. The entire civilization is oil-based.
You know, they ran us out of our strategic oil reserves, and then they seem to be running us out of our financial reserves. And then now we're in a situation where they've used up most of our weapons, and now Iran's sitting at 120% of the weapons that they had when the war started. You know, like it's kind of scary.
Yeah, they're actually being stocked up right now. A lot of people don't understand that. There's been a lot of planes touching down from China and from Russia. It looks like on the surface that they're not backing their buddy Iran, but I think they're playing such a long game that I think China's already delivered hypersonic nuclear missiles to Iran, and Iran's just waiting. They're going through the short range, the medium range, and as soon as we're burnt out and we can't hit infrastructure, or we maxed out the infrastructure we can hit, bridges, power plants, they're just going to unleash a barrage of miniaturized thermonuclear hypersonic weapons all throughout the Middle East. Because all the Gulf oil states, they're synthetic states. Like Israel, UAE, even places like Iran's allies, like Oman. You see Saudi Arabia's already cut off airspace access to the U.S. We're a month and a half, barely 2 months into this war, and our allies are already distancing from us. And I've heard predictions, like I have, this is basically what Steve Quayle says. I put a lot of faith and stock into him. We're going to see a bunch of 30, 40, 50% kill rate viruses. Then we're going to see an internal conflict in the United States where we get balkanized and we turn into like 6 different regions. After we're sufficiently weakened through a civil war, then we are going to be invaded and hit with an EMP and a nuclear first strike. And then you're going to hear mention of START II treaty, Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, and that China is going to, like right before they hit us in World War III, really starts gearing up into the red zone. They're going to allow us to, and I'm sure a liberal administration, you can kind of see it when the pendulum will swing the other way from this extreme. They're going to be in power. They're going to disarm the nuclear stockpile of the United States. Then we're going to get hit with an EMP and a nuclear first strike.
Yeah, but you're missing the biggest piece. Sidebar was all these Chinese troops supposedly in Canada.
Oh yeah, no, I know all about that.
They've been outfitting their cargo ships that look like they're sending cargo,
but it's really like SAM launchers, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
And infantry carriers, but we're missing the biggest piece, even bigger than oil: water. Okay, all those Gulf states are absolutely dead.
Desalination
plants. The drought in Arizona, the West Coast, Nevada, California is unheard of right now. Lake Mead's almost out. All of these lakes are running out. Now, I personally think a lot of that is
weather weapons. Yep.
Yeah, well, what do you think about all the rain
Iran, they started getting rain. Supposedly, they took out some of their weather weapons. But if they cut off the water, I mean, that is, what are you going to do? What are you going to do in LA when there literally is no water? They didn't have water for the fires. Okay, that's one thing. But what if I turn on the tap and nothing comes out?
You already know what's going to happen, bro. Why does the CDC put out zombie training manuals, like tongue-in-cheek? Oh, happy Halloween, here's a zombie training manual. Because they know through all the wars we fought in third world countries, when you go 2 weeks without food, the native population will resort to cannibalism. I couldn't even imagine what the native population would do going third, fourth day into no water coming out of the taps. It's going to be even worse than World War Z.
And then you don't have oil to escape.
Yeah, you're going to be powered by your Lexus, your Chevrolet.
That's why I moved to Florida. I got a river across from me right now. I got the ocean a mile away. So, I'll just walk across the street with a bucket. But when I was in LA, I kept thinking about this. I mean, you are surrounded by desert, right? You have to go several hours to get. If you go east, you're in even more desert. You're in Arizona, you're in Nevada, Northern Cali, slightly better, but they've been having massive droughts too.
Dude, it's like 48 states right now in a drought warning, in a heat dome drought warning.
And it's not even summer yet.
Exactly. But you know what the problem with living on the coast is? I heard from my boy Steve Quayle, I'm going to keep referencing him for the rest of my life, because every prediction he's made, I've seen come true in front of me. That Russia, like a Russian colonel, has already let it slip that they've planted and they seeded both coasts with mole nukes. And when the time is right, that they're going to mathematically trigger these to create the biggest radioactive tsunami that the world has ever seen.
Oh, I had a dream about that. Like a couple years ago, it was during COVID, maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Hey bros, I'm gonna step down here, but dude, this is awesome. You two guys need to keep this thing going. This will be the best space on X if y'all just keep this going. This is killer.
Yo,
And
we
thanks for
appreciate you,
inviting me
big
up,
dog.
Chase.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, we'll see y'all around.
Chase, should we have another speaker come up?
Yeah, anybody who wants to speak can request to speak. But Robert, feel free to stick around and chime in.
Yeah, Robert's a very
testing
informed guest.
I'm testing some features right now. So this is very helpful to just have you guys hang out with Bak.
Well, let me tell you about that dream, which is really strange because you know how you have dreams, but then you don't remember most of them.
Uh-huh.
But every now and then you have like a dream that's so vivid that you remember it, like every detail, like you lived it. And then sometimes you even have dreams that are like future events that then play out. A lot. Sometimes they're minor, like you just are in your house and you're like, oh shit, I dreamed about this exact moment. But then sometimes they're like bigger events. And I had this dream. I was in San Francisco. I don't know why. Like I've been to San Francisco, but I don't go very often. But I was in San Francisco in like the middle of the city, and a giant like bomb tsunami went off. I saw like a radioactive mushroom cloud in the far distance, but that didn't affect us. What affected us was a giant tsunami. And this whole dream was just surviving that tsunami. And I was like taking a group of people and we were like going in and out of buildings. I was like, we got to go higher. We got to go higher. And the whole dream was about that.
What the Russian colonel was saying was, and he had a tongue-in-cheek moment. He's like, oops, I've said too much. And then they denounced it in their tabloids in Russia, and the U.S. denounced it too. But what I found very suspicious, they denounced it like that night into the next day. Like they didn't, like he really did say too much. And he estimated that the wall of water would be somewhere between 300 to 800 feet of radioactive seawater. Could you imagine? An 800-foot tall, like it's bad enough when like the Romans beat Carthage, they salted the earth. They salted the earth so they couldn't come back and repopulate. But imagine if you had radioactive seawater, you're never reclaiming that land. Like you're not even going to be able to inhabit it for any purpose. All that water, the surface water, all the springs, everything gets contaminated. And if it's like 800, we'll even say 800 to 1,000 feet tall, how far inland is that going to go? Like that's the whole eastern seaboard.
They would use a bomb like that because they have hydrogen bombs that really don't have much radiation.
Well, they have neutron bombs too.
So, but one, I don't even know if the nukes are real. I mean, that's a whole
different rabbit hole.
They're fucking real.
I think they're real.
The scare. I mean, how much of this shit's fake, right? I mean, pretty much everyone. The only reason people like cops really is because they watch them on TV through paid propaganda to make them look like the heroes.
But yeah, there's probably some truth to that. There probably is some truth to that.
So who knows if it's real or not, but let's assume it is in that scenario. It wouldn't make sense for an enemy to do that because once they wipe out the population, China's already said back in the early 2000s through their generals, they need our land. They want to get rid of all the population. Supposedly, they already have every plot picked out for their people of every house, and they need the land. So why would you use a weapon that would irradiate it?
I've heard the quote from the Chinese general. I forgot his name, but it's we will kill every man, woman, and child.
Yeah.
But if you think about like the best laid plans of men and mice go awry, and you don't think that they'd have like a first order of effect, we don't want to contaminate the land. Second order effect, we're willing to use weapons that slightly contaminate the land. Third order effect, our plans are not going to, our agenda, and we're just going to go total scorched earth. Like, I do think that is a possibility.
Yeah, I'm sure they have. Yeah, absolutely.
Because they plan 100-year cycles.
His plans are going to shit. So he's going to what? Make Iran glass? What does that even mean?
Yeah, I'm with you on that 100%. Totally with you on that.
I mean, if the best weapon, because then you're not contaminating anything, you can move in there.
Right.
Well, this goes into, is there a complete separate breakaway civilization? I was telling Chase this the other day. Aircraft carriers, you know what I mean? These are all tinker toys from 100 years ago. And that, like Elon Musk, SpaceX is not the real space travel company. It's XAI, because they're going to do quantum computing, and they're going to basically tear a hole in the time fabric, the fabric of time, and they're just going to open portals. So it's XAI that is the real space traveling company, and SpaceX is just to build out the stratospheric economic infrastructure, like almost like an elevator, because we're not going to use chemical propulsion to get even anywhere in our solar system on time. You know what I mean? It doesn't even make sense. You're not going to get out. It's going to take.
Stargate's real, right? If that's real, if there really is a breakaway civilization, all this deep ground secret
dumbs
program, they, supposedly the Stargate program's real.
Yeah.
Why would you need any of that if you can teleport?
Well, what is the AI? You know that huge AI data center that's built?
Which one? There's a
the
bunch
first one that Trump signed off on, $500 billion.
Oh, with BlackRock or whatever?
Yeah, that's what is that? Project Stargate.
The whole thing Stargate, and that, I mean, why would on the very second day of being president again, that's what you're going to do? Like, if I was president, I'd be like, second day, bring me Bill Gates. Let's get him in front of some fucking judges. But no, his number one priority was Project Stargate.
Well, this goes into,
Stargate.
You ever look into Fred Trump, his uncle? I mean, what is it, John Trump? Fred Trump's his
I have
dad.
the book, Ingersoll Lockwood.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Go down that rabbit hole. If that's true, look, if time travel is ever possible, which I think it is, even maybe not physically from an astral perspective.
It'd be Project Looking Glass. You'd be like a chronovisor. You'd be able to see the light waves, you know?
Well, Looking Glass, supposedly they could see, but not after 2012.
Why? What happened?
Well, that's the whole story of Looking Glass. They were using it, they developed it in the 60s, and then it really started becoming useful in the 70s, right? And they built a huge underground facility, and it looks just like that movie in Contact, right? The giant spinning gyrosphere type device that they built.
Glass clip. Go ahead. I'm just testing this shit.
Supposedly they built in this huge underground facility, and when you spin it up really fast, it creates basically two images, and they had to develop an AI computer system to merge those images together to actually get a clear image. And they could look forward and backwards, but for some reason, from everything I've heard, once you got to 2012, there was like a singularity. Almost, they said it was almost like a jolt, like you hit a wall. Like you could see multiple timeline possibilities up until that point. And then
I think that would tie into the Willow chip with the quantum supercomputers, because from my understanding of quantum positioning, all timelines are possible and playing out simultaneously.
Bak, what's your favorite position? Quantum?
I like missionary.
No, you're right. It's super. I mean, did you guys see the new show called Paradise?
Oh yeah, bro. I'm on was it season 2 right now?
I heard it was really good. What's it about?
You didn't finish season 2 yet?
I finished it. Yep.
Okay, so then I'll use a little bit of spoilers because it's critical to this discussion. So Chase, it's about basically season 1. You learn Paradise is actually this underground bunker in Colorado. They hollowed out a mountain. They put 25,000 people there. It's contingency of government. And what happened is through climate change, which I think that is kind of a BS narrative, some super volcano in Antarctica blew up, created a giant tsunami cloud wave that basically went around the whole world, wiping most things out. And they hunkered down in this bunker in Colorado and built this whole facility down there. In season 2, you learn about how the billionaire kind of a
Sinatra
figure who kind of was running this whole project, and then they got their president into power to complete it. She was working on a secret project called Alex. And then you learn that Alex is a super advanced quantum computer that can manipulate time. So the whole premise was, through this quantum computer, it's manipulating the timeline to try to stop that event. But this computer, in season 2, there was an episode where it started spamming some was it a Domino's guy or a FedEx worker or something like that, like a UPS worker?
Yeah, it was a postal worker.
Spamming this guy through email and text messages, telling him to go to this location in like 1998, go up to this newborn baby and her mom, and start screaming at the mom that this baby is going to be a killer. So if we already have those quantum computers, which definitely possibility they could, even if you're not physically traveling through time, could you electronically travel through time? Could it send an email to myself in 2010 telling me to load up in as much Bitcoin as possible?
Well, you have to think too, bro. It's not just quantum computing is just one very powerful technology, but we have particle accelerators like CERN, and we have super, super advanced AI. And if you merge all those things together, you go like, that's what I think the Mandela effect is. I used to think that was complete bullshit, but now I'm not so sure, because like the Bernstein Bears, I remember like just going down rabbit holes like, was Britney Spears wearing a gray-white skirt, or was she not? Did she have a microphone in on her head with that video where she's in like a red Catwoman suit? Like, dude, there's something going on. Like Fruit of the Loom. Remember the logo for Fruit of the Loom? Was there a cornucopia or was there not? So
it's definitely possible. I mean, I've even heard theories that we have skipped timelines. Like we've already been on a timeline that just completely everything went to shit. Everyone died, but we were able to skip a timeline, and now we're on like a parallel timeline.
I think that they did Looking Glass, they did CERN, they have had quantum computing, advanced AI, and I think timelines were merged to try to get an end result. Because I heard that theory too, that we're all dead, like in one timeline.
Like if it ended at 2012, but we actually like merged into a super timeline. Like I really struggle with this, and I think about it a lot, because I think, okay, there's either an infinite amount of timelines and multiverses, basically, like a Marvel universe.
More predictive programming.
One fated timeline, like the God, there's a million possibilities, but it's fate that you're going to do this at this exact time. And I really struggle with that. I talk about it a lot, because if there's multiple, then it makes sense that you could go back and forth and try to change something. And if that's possible, that means even if even if these devices to travel back in time were made 5,000 years into the future, those time travelers could be the aliens that we call them now, coming back here in the present time. And I've thought a lot about it, because when did we really hear way more about UFO sightings and what? And I've said this in other spaces. What if these are future humans that came back because the vax fucked up the genome so bad that thousands of years into the future, there are these weird gray things that can't have sex or organs?
Oh, well, I don't think the gray. So I kind of have thought that. I don't think that those are humans that turn into humanoids that travel back. I actually think that the grays are biological androids, and this just has everything to do with the Nephilim, and that these are fallen angels and principalities, and this alien disclosure is to force us into, like I've always said, that's the ace card that they have up their sleeve. You can play it either way. They're here to hurt us, or they made Jesus, they made all religions, which these two clips, we should actually play them, have to do. This disclosure is to get the world to shake off all the old world religions to make way for the new world religion, which is going to be a combination of earth worship, Islam, and Christianity. And they're going to disprove Allah and Buddha and Jesus using this. And you can see the pastors lining up, and they've even said this on Fox News. This is going to shake everyone's faith. So you could play this either way you wanted. And that's the most powerful card that you could play to get the whole world to buy into a one world government.
Oh, no, it's critical. And this has been said for the last, 50, 60 years. who was that woman who was like the assistant for Werner von Braun? And he was like grabbing her on his deathbed. And he's like, remember,
It's all fake.
The last card is the alien, the fake aliens.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if someone's on their deathbed, you could have said 100 million things. The biggest thing you're going to say is they're going to do a fake alien invasion. And then you somehow get them to put the Psalm 91, 19:1, on the tombstone, which is the only verse in the Bible that talks about the firmament.
I didn't know that. I was thinking about the Bible verse about the mystery of the iniquity of time. Remember that one?
You didn't know about this? Look this up. It's Werner von Braun tombstone. It's the only thing on his tombstone. It's like his name. I don't even know if they put his dates of when he was born and died. It was like that and this one verse.
I'm going to Google it right now. Holy shit, that's the third result. Werner von Braun's tombstone is a modest grave marker located in Ivy Hill Cemetery in Alexandria, Virginia. It features his name, birth, death, years that his life was lived, in the Bible verse Psalm 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Wow. You learn something every day, bro. And we know Artemis 2 was complete fucking hoax. I do think that we went into space, but I think for every space mission, they had an alternate Hollywood set just in case it failed. So I think both camps are right.
It's possible. I don't know. But the firmament is saying that there's there's a barrier you can't get past. If you look back into that time, they also had Operation Fishbowl.
Mm-hmm.
Right, where they're shooting nuclear missiles up into the sky.
500 hydrogen bombs.
And that to me is like, let's.
But hairspray put the hole in the ozone layer, right? Chlorofluorocarbons.
We're really worried about that. And then they're talking about. So how are they talking about for all this time since the 1969 missions that we can't get past the Van Allen belts?
Yeah, the radiation.
And then now there's Artemis 2. No one even talked about wouldn't it be a huge breakthrough? Like, we have figured out how to safely get through the Van Allen belts, and we're going to send astronauts through the Van Allen belts for the first time in 50 or 60 years. Like, no mention of that at all. They didn't even promote this thing. They're like, oh yeah, we're launching some people to the moon today.
Wild. It's just wild. I don't even know what to say anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, because you've been working on Darvis the whole time.
Yeah, I've been working on Darvis the whole time.
Should we play a clip?
The whole thing that they're pushing with the UFO disclosure is they're claiming we didn't go back to the moon because when we went there, they're mean aliens, and they told us to get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah, that's right. It's Apollo 17. Actually, let me look that up. Find Apollo 17 aliens told us not to come back clip. That's a fucking stretch. Let's see if I can find it. Was Aldrin River sighting? Nope, not that one.
Well, he did say that there's pyramids on the moon.
Yeah.
And in Antarctica. When he went, he said, it's evil. We're all in danger.
Oh, here we go. This is it, I think.
これからこのことは話していいよということを言われたり、僕は彼から実は画像をもらったんですね。キャプテンが
So for those of you who speak Japanese, this is incredibly helpful
何を見
information.
たんですかっていう質問をしたときに、
Anyway, he was friends with an astronaut that said, which one was it?
Kernan?
Yeah. That said that the aliens came into his head, like voice to skull technology, and told him never to come back because we were interfering with their research on the moon. And he said that's the real reason that we didn't have Apollo 18 or 19, and that 17 was the last one.
I'm under the impression that that probably is somewhat true, but then treaties were struck, and the Breakaway civilization is underground in the stratosphere. We're already on Mars. We're already on the moon. I think the Nazis are in Antarctica. I think the Nazis are on the moon.
You think the Nazis made it to Antarctica?
I don't think we ever won World War II. I think Admiral Byrd, in his congressional testimony, would be very telling today.
You think we lost World War II?
No, I don't think. I think it was a stalemate, and that they told us to never come to Antarctica.
You think that Hitler went to Antarctica instead of Argentina?
Dude, look at the rat trail. Look at all the towns going through. Look at, why are there white Mexicans with blonde hair, blue eyes?
I know, but why the fuck would he go to Antarctica? It's the least habitable place on the planet.
Because there was a submarine base there. This is all based in historical fact. They thought that that's where the basis of the rat line ended. That's where they thought all the Nazi wealth and the art was looted. That's why Admiral Byrd went to Antarctica with the 47th Fleet or some shit like that. I don't know if I have that correct. And he came back and testified before Congress that he saw flying saucers, like Nazi Bell technology, pretty much, and that he was given a guided tour and he was told to never come back. And then in the 50s, you see all these UFOs descending on all these capital cities like Washington, D.C., New York, Paris, London, and a treaty was struck. And that's why we did, was it Operation Paperclip, where we took in all the Nazis right after World War II?
Yeah, that's the one.
Paperclip was before that, but
Was it before
Byrd
that?
went down there in like 49 and lost half his fleet.
Mm-hmm. And he had to answer for that.
Blow up half a fleet in Antarctica. Something weird's going on with Antarctica for sure.
Well, you see all the world leaders have to go there and pay homage, right? Even Putin, Obama, even Buzz Aldrin went there. And like, we could pull that tweet up. It's still...
He had a heart attack there.
What's the shit?
From fear.
Fear. And he said, what's there is evil.
Yeah. Pure evil. He said it was pure evil.
Exactly. Steve Quayle said that that's where Satan's throne room is.
Yeah, and supposedly in like an obsidian pyramid.
Yeah.
And what is obsidian representative of? It's the same thing that that rock that Muslims go do the Hajj at. It's all Saturnalia worship. What is Saturn is very interesting. The rings always expand. There's all these crafts always filmed flying around the rings. It has how many moons? Bro, so I don't even think Saturn's an organic creation.
Every planet has their own sound wave that can be measured.
I'll tell you what,
Saturn
I don't think
has a very specific sound wave.
I've heard that.
I don't think the moon's
So
real.
the thought is that the sound wave coming off Saturn is like from the movie, oh man, what's the movie where they put on the glasses? They Live?
They Live, yeah.
They Live, yeah.
Remember at the end of They Live, they go to the TV station, they blow it up, and then now everyone can see that, there's these alien, people that look like humans. So the theory is that Saturn is like some type of broadcast system from that. Maybe the moon is like a Wi-Fi extender.
And why? How do we forget about Oumuamua or whatever, Oumuamua? All these asteroids that accelerate, decelerate, change direction. Bro,
what happened with the one that just went by a couple months ago? Like, we kept hearing about it. It's like, oh, it's coming close to the sun, and then like it gets close to us, and like they never even talked about it again.
And there's an asteroid that we've been tracking, which I think might be Wormwood. It's supposed to hit somewhere near the West Coast, 2028, 2029, Apophis.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories on Apophis that maybe everything going down is because of Apophis.
Bro, you're very well educated, man. This has been a super interesting talk. You should have your own show too, man.
Yeah, when are you gonna launch your own show?
I did. It was called nowdaily.com. I was broadcasting. I did a lot of great interviews. Joe Bannister was my favorite one about the IRS. I don't know if you guys have listened to him. But then I was attacked. They hacked me. They like really came after me, and they eventually stole the domain. And then after that, I was like, okay, I'm going to build my businesses. I want to build my businesses really big, because then when you're too big, like it's hard.
You have a measure of protection.
Yeah. So that's kind of what happened. That I stopped doing that a couple years ago after they took my URL from me.
Motherfuckers, dude. Haters.
Yeah, you can still find the old videos on YouTube, I think. And then YouTube shut me down. Yeah. And then back then, that was before COVID. I mean, what they did with Alex Jones and all these people is once you're off YouTube back then and like a couple other sites, it's like, where else are you going to go? Even now, it's still, okay, we have X, Rumble, which is kind of a weird site, is glitchy. I mean,
yeah, the infrastructure is not very good on Rumble. That's why we're not on there right
still
now.
control too much of that infrastructure, right? There needs to be a new decentralized. We need, when we were talking about the forks, right? We're either going into this dystopian world, combination 1984, Fahrenheit 451, or whatever you want to call it, or we're going into a really good world. The only way we're getting to that really good world is through decentralization.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say we need decentralization in everything, in government. Like voting really should be on, that should be one of the few things that should be on the blockchain, you know?
The blockchain can solve a lot. Like the blockchain can be a tool for enslavement
Or
it can
good.
be a
That's what I'm
tool-
telling Chase. That's why we need to be. I totally understand stable coins being the CBDC, and obviously they can track every transaction. But if we're not there occupying that space and even putting up a fight, they win by default. We're not going to have the petrodollar much longer. In fact, we're probably not even going to have national currencies much longer. So I've seen polls on XRP. A large amount of Christians hold XRP. A large amount of non-vax people hold XRP. Like, whereas Satan, like, you've seen the old Bible verse, you dig a ditch for your neighbor, you fall in it yourself.
I'm big on XRP just because it's fast.
Well, it is exactly, bro. We know it's tied into 11,000 banks. Even BRICS has a backdoor for XRP. So it is going to be the backdoor trading mechanism to move value from east to west. But if we don't occupy that space, they win by default. Like, we didn't even put up a fight. We didn't even show up to the fight then. And we just gave it to them. Money has to go digital. It's efficient. It moves at the speed of fiber optic, at the speed of light, essentially.
Well, there's a couple negatives on XRP and some positives. So maybe I'll.
It's centralized.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is it's not like, so Bitcoin, you have decentralization where I can use this computer I'm on right now and I can run a node, which is basically like running my own terminal. And I could win some Bitcoin rewards. But the theory with Bitcoin is there's millions of people running on their own devices, nodes. And that's the network that every 10 minutes processes the transaction and adds
It's super inefficient.
Yeah.
Well, it's inefficient because of a lot of the security measures put in place. But so that's when I started learning, I said, oh, it's inefficient. It's slow. So then I got really into XRP and I said, XRP, a transaction can be done in 3 seconds. It's fast enough where it could be replaceable from your Visa card for daily purchases. But they are centralized. I can't run an XRP node. There's only a handful of computer servers that actually run these nodes.
And there's a clawback mechanism too.
And it's not private. It's not a privacy coin. So, but it's got speed and scalability.
And energy efficiency.
You want to wrap it, Baki?
Wrap it up?
You ready to wrap it?
Recently added.
You having too much fun?
What they recently added just a couple months ago was smart contracts. And I think that was the final piece they needed in place. Because you can't exchange property titles without smart contracts.
It's the way you tokenize everything too.
That is the layer that will be able to token that when the WEF says we want to tokenize everything, now
That's how you do it.
XRP is the infrastructure to do that.
What's the speaker's name?
This guy is Robert.
Well, Robert, I think Chase wants to wrap it up. We had a great time. You're a great guest, bro. And I hope the show was interesting for you. And you can catch us at Real Chase Geiser and Real Steven Bak, Instagram, X. And hope you guys go to our YouTube channel because we're trying to grow that. Chase Geiser Network on YouTube. We'll be streaming Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and posting content Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yeah, we're doing another one tomorrow. Hope you guys join us.
Yep. Love you.
We'll try to do them a little bit earlier. All right. Play intro.
Whispers in the void, echoes of a dream, fleeting shadows glide through the mechanized street. What? We dance on one, yeah, we are here, transform the fires, what, with fierce sparks and wires. Yeah, we are here to break out from the scene. Fragments of the past haunt this fractured zone, a symphony of chaos